morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. Welcome to tradertv.live. North American stock futures back in negative territory once again this morning, ever so slightly. Not huge moves here so far, but markets kind of keeping an eye on the continued weakness in the bond markets and specifically the 10-year Treasury yield moving back to the downside once again this morning, raising more questions regarding the state of the overall global economic recovery as more countries start to reopen things. Yesterday, we saw the Dow end the day up ever so slightly, about 44 points, helped by a 2.4% run up by Apple. Remember, we got to new all-time highs yesterday for Apple, looking a little bit strong here once again in the pre-market. The S&P was up 0.12%. The NASDAQ, though, did end the day just slightly into negative territory, 0.02%. Some of the reopen type trade back to the downside again this morning. The cyclical names as well, Caterpillar, Deere, GE, those types of stocks all showing some weakness here in the pre-market as well. Earnings today from Morgan Stanley. We'll talk about that. UHN out with their report as well. We'll talk about that. Netflix also making another move here. 6 days in a row to the upside for Netflix, up 2%. Early on after another upgrade, some positive talk from analysts. So we'll have a look at Netflix coming up here. It's Thursday, July 15th, 2021. TraderTV.live starts now. There we go. Look at how things stand at this point. You can see the NASDAQ has gone back into positive territory, but both the S&P and Dow slightly lower to start things off. Little change for the most part here in Toronto as far as the TSX futures are concerned. Crude oil extending declines from yesterday. If you remember, 3% yesterday, 1.6 again today. Cryptos, yeah, back to the downside. We'll have a look at some crypto markets coming up here as well. Initial jobless claims numbers out at 8:30 there, 360,000 versus 360,000 expected. So exactly in line with expectations for the initial jobless claims from last week. Good morning, guys. It's Thursday. Going to be an interesting morning here. We are coming into a little bit of weakness once again, some individual names to talk about as far as what is moving around so far in the pre-market there. But overall, the market struggling a little to get back to positive territory. So we'll have a look at some banks once again. Morgan Stanley, the latest out with earnings.
Yeah, Morgan Stanley with earnings, United Health with earnings, and a couple of smaller names as well. I mean, Citadine, they're actually on the move a little bit. So one to watch. There's a company that actually made a transition and then has a good quarter. So we'll definitely be talking and looking at some of those on our watch list as well. Welcome, it is Thursday. As you said, their markets are basically dead flat. I mean, it's not often you can show the NQ dead flat here. So Ms. V is in the green. We have a good shot. ES down, NASDAQ exactly flat. We got a good baseline for today. Can we get to that upside is going to be that key. I don't know if the banks will get us there. Morgan Stanley, good results. And then, of course, you're going to see what happens to them. And some key levels reached on the meme stocks as they try to find a bottom. If they were to make a leg lower down, there's some really, really interesting levels that would come in. Overall, you know, the market teetering around those highs, bouncing back and forth at the top. I kind of thought there would be a flush in the memes if the market started to turn over and if like crypto broke through. Looks like the meme stocks went down first, not the order of operations that I was anticipating there, Sean, but there's still plenty of action. I mean, there's a lot of symbols to look at again today.
Yeah, I actually, oops, I just noticed I didn't share my, oh, that's funny. I didn't share the sticky note properly, so I will do that. Okay, we just got into a position right now, DTSS. So current position now long, DTSS breaking through that $5 mark. There's news on them today, so we'll talk about, you know, back on watch yesterday after a nice gain, some 5G marketing, cloud, et cetera, et cetera. So DTSS, we're back into the long side of things. We'll just chill out on that for now. But AMC also a nice little one today to watch out. Sorry about the trade of the day as we were short all day yesterday, 38, so 31 now. That's 20% 20% return off yesterday's short. Let's see if we could do something again. I actually don't mind this long break, 33.25, so we're going to pay attention for that as well. But right now, flat on DTSS to start the morning, Brendo.
Yeah, more than 50% off the highs now for AMC from back in June. So what a move back to earth for that. We'll talk about AMC, we'll talk about GME coming up, even space as well, continuing for Virgin Galactic to the downside. Before we do, though, let's get over to the desk and say good morning to Miss V.
Hi guys, welcome to another trading day. I wish you to stay in a positive territory, sending you all the luck, and please don't forget to like this video. Let's get it started, Brandon.
Yeah, let's get it started, guys. Just noting the overall market, not really doing a heck of a lot here. There was a little bit of a spike to the downside initially on that jobless claims number, I guess, but right back up. We're still down 0.3 here heading into the morning, but again, that jobless claims number in line. 360,000 versus 360 that was expected. Start things off with a name we very rarely, or quite frankly never talk about, Casper Sleep teaming up with Bed Bath & Beyond, guys, for a national expansion plan here. CSPR, they have those mattresses in a box, I guess. 8.5% or 9% was up a little bit higher than this, but decent volume here today. Not a bad looking level here on the daily chart if you want to look at CSPR today.
Yeah, that's actually it's not a horrible look there. Oh my gosh, don't mistake that with CRISPR, because that's the first thing that came into my mind there. You actually looked at that level, and I'd be interested in it, but I want to get to the super chats. I know we get a lot of these, so I just want to jump in. Nick W asking about this NTEC. So no catalyst on Intech that I can find, and you're asking if possibility of a big move. It's not a great looking chart, but most of these like small cap or micro cap type names have been making runs off of these types of moves. So I would, if there's a catalyst and you're going for the gold here off of like clear consolidation, I've seen it work before. I just don't know what that catalyst is going to be. I don't know, a little successful offering maybe. I haven't done any work on the stock, and then we always say that candidly, but I've seen so many setups like this where you have pumps and then dumps over and over again, and then they find support, and then repeatedly they happen over and over and over. It's just big move past 5. I don't know what would have that happen, to be honest with you. I mean, but if you can catch like a 10-20%er off of like a 280, that's not terrible from these levels. I just don't see the catalyst particularly here, and it's not doing any value or volume, I should say, in the pre-market.
This Casper up 10% off that deal with Bed Bath & Beyond. So, yeah, I mean, a good move if you're holding this stock. Obviously, if you look back here, we can do even like a 5-minute chart here or whatever. You'll be able to see that there's not really much happening yesterday at Casper other than downside movements. It's just been pretty negative to the downside here. We're just getting back to some of these levels, and I think that's Brendan was talking about it on the daily chart. So, I mean, oh God, my daily chart just froze. That's great. Okay, so 705 to the bottom there on a daily. Here's another daily coming through. Don't mind this level down here, $6. We're well away from that. If you could break through, I don't know. I mean, yeah, we're just still stuck. I mean, look, we went from 7 up here to 780. So now we just went from almost breaking bottoms back into the middle. So for me, there's a no trade on Casper today. 74,000 shares, not a big deal. But look, if you're in this name, that's great. Congratulations, because you played it off that bottom, which is a good one. But I mean, this is not nice. I think you got to wait to see. I mean, I don't know much about the fundamentals here with this business. I know there's a lot of competition. Maybe there's something with Bed Bath & Beyond today, BBBY. We'll check that out here on the NASDAQ, and 27. So yeah, it's only 11,000 shares. So I think this is a nothing burger story, but good for Casper. I think the more they can get exposure, the better it is for them, as it's a strict marketing business, right? There's so many out there. Like I said, you turn on Instagram, you turn on anything like that, you're seeing Casper. But here's a little tip, and I saw them if you want to buy it. The Casper mattresses are like $1,000 for the King at Costco here in Canada, which is like 50% off if you go on their website. So Costco rules the day once again.
Just seeing MRIN popping up here, guys. This recent high flyer that was a part of the Reddit group stocks here. They just posted a whole bunch of numbers here as far as their current quarter estimates are concerned. So worth a watch going forward. I'm going to look through some of these numbers, guys, but MRIN heads up. Looks like sees Q2 revenue 6.1 million, which is higher. Yeah, it's not really doing anything, but that just came out there at 8:30. So heads up on MRIN. Again, one that has been a decent mover over the past couple of days. We saw some weakness return. Sean, you were talking about cannabis late in the day yesterday. We should, keep those on watch again today. This bill that the Democrats have floated, still kind of, making its way around, or making the rounds, I should say, as far as trying to get some support, I guess, for this bill to get legalization further along in the U.S. But a lot of weakness came in late in the day for those.
Yeah, I mean, it was all Tilray. It was, every single name. I mean, even CGC. I just got to fix these charts again here. Like, this is ridiculous. Okay, so if you go back to CGC, this is the one that I like. You know what? We're going to have to do another platform here. But I love CGC to go, and I don't know. Nothing's working for me. There it is. So let's check out this chart here. This is a daily chart for CGC. You can see, man, I mean, they didn't like that yesterday. We were trying to go. The 50-period moving average is $25. You're down here to 20 and change. Why won't this? It's a NASDAQ stock, isn't it? CGC.NQ, there's the quote. Okay. Yeah, so look, you're down at that $20 mark one more time. That's going to be a big breaking spot. I mean, we were back here in July, so it really hasn't done much for the whole year. You did get that sort of Reddit-fueled frenzy back in January, February, where we made some highs, some cannabis talk right there as well. But if you are in this space and you're already in CGC and maybe you're not in a new name, I do like Grow Generation Brands. We've talked about that over and over again. I think this is a good one. And down yesterday 10% as well, back down to this $40 level. I think if you could pick this up at 35, 36, much, much better. We initially talked about it down here off election time, and then we made a big, huge move to $68. We were able to get something out here in the 50s, and now we want to rebuy this one at 35. So this is the Home Depot. And again, remember, part of this bill is going to be the fact that you're going to be able to grow at home, I would hope. So anyways, here in Canada, I don't know if it's 4 plants per household or something, but or 4 plants per person per household. I don't know, but that's a decent amount. And I know that I know some growers, and yeah, they need product, right? And so I think that Grow Generation. There's also another look at even at a Home Depot for some products, and then SMG. You can always look at. This is if you don't want to hold the growers, right? Like you don't want to hold CGC. CGC also buying acreage holdings a while back, but why not Scott's Miracle Grow? I was going to say Smile Direct. Scott's Miracle Grow, which also started to make moves there, 130 up to 260. That's a double in six months there. And then now you're getting it right back to these key levels again, Scott's Miracle Grow. So maybe there's plays here instead of worrying about banks and Nikola and EV
Dude, that's
space.
a buy.
I think you can get over on Scott's Miracle Grow at some point.
I would flip to that chart, but I want to keep it on the one I have now because charts have been a bit icky this morning is the word I want to use. But that's a great looking chart of Scott's Miracle Grow. You mentioned Smile Direct, and I was just at a corner of my mind. I was like, oh my goodness, that break on Smile Direct. Yeah, that happened yesterday. It took out that 730. It's on the march continuously down to the downside here. So definitely one to watch. I was going to talk about Sundial. But suffice to say, all this pressure that you're seeing, 83 is a pretty big level. If it breaks the 80 to 83 area on Sundial, you got to watch out for like the 60s and 65s. I actually got into this. I'm going to kill this fly. I'm going to get it today for sure. But anyways, I got into this HUDI, and this like every now and then you get a pump and dump, and it looks like this, which is ridiculous. $6 to $9, and by the time we sat down this morning, we're compiling our list and going over what's short. It was already back all the way down, giving everything back up. So another one of these, I guess, Chinese small cap names. But there was a short back into the 665. I did short into it. There was a big buyer at 635. That's why I was holding this level. It just broke. We're now at fresh lows in front of $6. So I'm going to start the day off right, but I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth, even if it is the pre-market. I will take some out in front of that pre-market low as well. So I am in this one, HUDI. Obviously, I'm not going to get a chance to short up at like $8 or $9, which I would because it's a great level on the daily chart. But yeah, that Scott Miracle Grow seems like a bit of a value, though. I had no idea that was down that much from the high. That's crazy.
All right, speaking of some of the smaller companies and some cannabis companies as well, Managing Director of OCI Group's Rahim Alani with us once again this morning to talk about some possible opportunities coming up as we head into earnings reporting season with some of these smaller type companies, small cap companies, whether it's cannabis, as I said, right through to the mining sector. Great to see you once again, Rahim. Thanks for doing this from abroad, we'll say. I love the view in the background there. Welcome. Let's jump right into things here. We'll talk about an energy name to start things off. Again, all kind of heading into or recently reported news here around earnings for Surge Energy, which is a Toronto name.
Yeah, and good morning, guys. No, you're right. Surge is one of those energy names that had an effect on it at the start of COVID. And what they had done was, hedged out their contracts, which was the fiscally responsible thing to do. As the world, has started to come back, those hedges haven't come into favor for them, but it's what they had to do to sort of keep things going. And so they did see a bit of a downturn in the last quarter, and that may still be reflected here. But like a lot of the energy names out there, there is a massive demand coming. People are expecting. And so a lot of energy companies are forecasting and will be guiding. That'll be something important to note when, for all the viewers, is seeing what the guidance is going to be from anywhere from the smalls to the mids to the large caps, what they think the world's going to look like in a little bit of time. And so Surge has come back. They've brought some great production numbers on, and they're expecting going into the next quarter that they will be well situated. And they also just recently raised $15 million at 59 cents, so on a bought deal basis. So that shows some strength in the name from the investment banking community.
Yeah, great looking daily chart there. We've had obviously a pretty epic run up in oil prices. They are coming back in the past couple of days here, but very key what you said there. Watch for the guidance going forward, specifically with some of these energy companies to see what they're forecasting for future here. Hardwoods Distribution. Tell us about that one. HDI.
Yeah, that was just again another name that as we've spoken in the last little while about COVID rebound names and companies that have done well during the pandemic or will be looking to do even better post the pandemic. So it's a smaller volume name, but it's a great value play from a market cap point of view. It's sitting at $780 million. They just made a $300 million acquisition. Numbers have been pretty strong in the first quarter. Their revenues were up to about $290 million US, off of about a 20% bump from $240 million previous. And dividends they just actually announced, and that's another thing to point out. A lot of banks and a lot of companies will be announcing dividend share buybacks that they weren't previously allowed to do if they were receiving some of the government money. So that's something to note. So HDI announced a 10-cent dividend and EBITDA of $25 million US. So really strong numbers, and it's something that again to take a look at in terms of the growth sector of building.
Let's talk about some of these cannabis stocks in focus this week. Obviously, with this bill coming out in the U.S., depending on which name you want to look at, we're going to talk about MedMen here, which is MMEN.
Yeah, again, a popular name. And to Sean's point just a couple minutes ago, there's different ways to play the sector, right? There's you can go with the growers, you can go with the retailers, you can go with the Scots of the world. And everyone's got a different role to play in this economy. So MedMen, it's a very high liquid name, trades about 1.5 million shares a day. They announced revenue of about $32 million in their most recent quarter, up 3.5%. So getting some adjusted EBITDA as well on the retail side. And so they are one of those companies that are in, they're what's called the multi-state operators, the MSOs. So they're in California, Nevada, Arizona, New York, Illinois, Florida. So they're in sort of the right places. Still a net loss on the quarter of about $10 million. But I think, again, as some of these things, as some of these states and again, federally potentially what's happening start to come on, you'll see a lot more happening. And again, that's supplemented by the fact that the company just raised $19 million. So it shows that the investment banking community is, again, behind a name like that.
Let's talk about TAAT Global, the next one here.
TAT focused on Ohio. So you'll see a lot of these names, again, if you want to bifurcate down to where these names are coming from. Some of them are going to just focus on this particular one state, two state. There may be some multi-states. And then you've got the growers as well. So TAT in their most recent quarter up 300%, I guess, in their revenue to about $690,000. And continuing to grow, and again, just focus on that Ohio footprint. Decent sized market cap, and a good way to look at if you want to believe in a one state approach for sure.
I want to make sure we get down to a gold name that you had on the list here, Raheem. But
Sure.
Before we do that, talk to us about Speakeasy Cannabis, and then we'll maybe jump down to some mining
Sure.
stocks.
Sure. Again, a smaller cap name. They put out some of their results most recently. They've grown their cannabis inventory to about $11 million. They've got asset base of about $36 million, investing heavily in their outdoor harvest and in their grows, and generating revenue off of flower extract services, the typical sort of cannabis company that wants to be touching everything. So they've got about $1.6 million in revenue that they announced, and they're just continuing to look to grow across their different segments.
All right, so this, how do you pronounce it? Troilus Gold Corporation.
Troilus, yeah.
A diversified mining company, but it's an interesting group at this point with what has happened over the past little while with some of the metal prices here. So what do we expect as far as earnings coming out of this group at this point?
Yes. Sure. So what you'll see out of the commodities sector is, again, there's going to be a very small number of companies that are going to have earnings per se, but they all will be generating some type of result that you're going to be looking for. If you're going for the larger caps, you'll be looking at their revenue. You'll be looking at sort of the costs that they're bringing on to generate that revenue on a per ounce basis. This is how a lot of people look at gold companies. When you're into the smaller caps, obviously they're all pre-production exploration. So you're not really looking at earnings per se. You're just looking at how much they're spending to try and generate what they're going to try and generate, and what any updates on their size of resource are going to be. So those are the two sets of numbers that you're going to want to look at in the commodities sector. Now, on a producer, you're definitely going to want to see how much they're spending to generate each ounce of gold, and the higher the cost gets, obviously the lower the profit number becomes. But as the price of gold increases, a lot of these guys will be able to take advantage of that and look at opportunities for acquisitions and capital raising, because they've been able to generate that differential on the price of gold. So Troilus is one. They've done sort of similar things to that effect. They just recently, on top of that, closed a $45 million financing, made an acquisition. So they're one of the ones that's looking to take advantage of where the gold price has been going.
TLG listed on the TSX here in Toronto. Rahim Alani, Managing Director of OCI Groups here in Toronto. Great information as always. Again, guys, we're bringing you these symbols, as opportunities or potential opportunities that might be not looked at on a daily basis, or kind of hiding under the radar a little bit. So appreciate your time as always, Rahim. We'll speak again soon.
No problem, guys. Take care. See you in the studio.
Enjoy. Let's talk about, guys, thoughts on any of these? The cannabis group, obviously, one that we were just talking about a little bit there, but some of these smaller names definitely worth keeping on the radar as well.
Yeah, certainly. This is the thing. You see a couple of those charts, and you'll see some extreme movement. But every now and then you're going to get small caps that find interesting levels on them, and then you got to find those clusters and those opportunities, understand the business a little bit, and that's why we bring Rahim on, so that you just not just caught up guessing at what's going to be the next mover, but if something looks interesting to you that has a bit of a value tinge to it, and it makes sense. I just happen to have Troilus up here because we get questions about gold and how to handle the miners, and a lot of them here trading in Toronto, and you can find these opportunities out there, and it's not just in the big cap. I always say, you have a small percentage of your portfolio that you want to have in some of the riskier names or small cap, whatever it might be, and you got to educate yourself first, because it's a little bit more difficult to find quality information, I think, at some of the smaller names. We can all dig up the juice on the big caps, and we feel pretty comfortable about it. But that's why we do this for you guys here and run through a few names. It's not to say go out and run and buy every single one, but certainly it never hurts to get yourself educated. At least that's what I certainly believe.
No, I'm still going to go with the big guys. I just been burned. Cannabis burned. We've just been burned by too many of these cannabis names, man. I'm going to keep my money in the big guys and see what happens. But those are some good names. If you bottom pick or just get into some of these smaller names when they're first starting, and or have some, like Rahim was doing there, some catalysts behind them, then yeah, hell yeah. Some of those are some great opportunities. I'm already dug in a little too deep to some of those, so we're going to wait. I'm going to stick with the Grow Generations and the Scott's Miracle Grow of this world on any pullbacks.
Just a heads up, guys, anyone looking at Oatly, remember we talked about that Spruce Point report? They're on that other CNBC channel right now, so heads up if you're watching Oatly today. Here we go, upgrades and downgrades for today. AMD, Netflix, NVIDIA, all on this side of the board today, so worth having a look at the chip makers. And Netflix, obviously, we'll talk about anyways. MasterCard as well on this side. Cassava Sciences getting a price target cut and downgrade there from Cantor Fitzgerald Citigroup on the side of the board as well. And that's SunPower as well, guys.
SunPower, you said.
Cassava Science is the one that we're like, what? Cassava's at what price? And the who now? And yeah, I mean, sometimes you'll get that big run up. And if it surprises people, you probably see some of those downgrades come in. We're going to be talking a little bit about Netflix in a bit here when we go through. I know everyone's looking at some of these high flyer names, and Sean's in that DTSS. It was a big one yesterday. It was a big mover yesterday. Obviously, you can see on the daily chart kind of breaking out here, but there is the level from the afternoon where it kind of rolled over here at like a 4, well, in the morning, I should say, early afternoon, but like 470 right at the end of the show, and then it was a sell from every single point on at that price. So looking at a dip buy, that's where I was going to peg in front of it. So that's going to be like that 465 to 470 area. I just took some at VWAP here at 48. Hopefully, we can hold that line there in the pre-market, which it has done so far, and then maybe take out that top. It's got a 547 top, 550. We'll certainly call it. I would scalp out in front of that in the open because at 9:30, I'm always looking to see if it's going to do that little rejection off of the high of the day.
I was just trying to find out. My chart's crashed here, so now I got to reload everything, but I will do that. I'm going to talk about AMD when we get back. I just got to fix this chart.
All right, still watching this MRIN. Not really doing a heck of a lot here, guys. So why don't we get into what is moving around in the pre-market? We'll give you this link. First off, if you haven't done so already, that is where to find the morning note that we send out every single morning before we come on at 8:30. Absolutely free to you. Miss V will help you out in the chat if you do need that. Let's talk Alibaba here a little bit. Big move yesterday. Did come back a bit, but strength anyways initially for Baba. We're showing a little bit of strength here in the pre-market once again, guys, for this name. There was that Tencent music story yesterday, the Wall Street Journal reporting that the two were going to kind of open ecosystems up to each other for some sort of collaboration.
So we tried, I'll talk because my trades are on here. I mean, I tried to take the long yesterday. I think this is what we're going to mention today. I tried to take the long all day yesterday. It worked early and then it failed late. So Alibaba, and this is why I put on the sticky note, wherever it is right here. And it's at the top. Second straight day up. Will it hold? You know, like will it finally think about holding some of these highs? And I mean, this is exactly what happened yesterday. Okay, we're in another play there. We're in DD taking out the top. So that's another play right now. So we're in DD and we're in DTSS right now. A couple Ds on there, but we were just talking about Baba. So let's go back over to another Chinese name. Yeah, so on the one-day chart, we're right at the 50-period moving average. I really think this can go, but again, it has all those headwinds behind it. But you know, the value of Alibaba, in my opinion, is great, and I don't think that there's any question there. It's just, do you want to actually hold any Chinese names in your account when there is threats of delisting? There's lots of different things happening. I mean, Alibaba uses PricewaterhouseCoopers. I'm not worried about any sort of accounting fraud or anything like that. I'm not even worried about a delist. It's just that's there in the background always. It's why NEO sometimes can't catch bids. It's why Alibaba and Didi and well, Didi's an obvious one, but Pinduoduo, JD, like names that have been around and been around the block and are actually have earnings. Even Tencent's a fantastic name, TCEHY on the pink sheets. But Alibaba, I like it. I like it a lot. It's just I don't want to get trapped again, man. Like I just said, will 215. All we said on the sticky note was will 214.50 hold, and you know it's not holding already. So there you go. I was hoping it would hold, and it doesn't look like it's going to. So for me, it's a no swim area. If we can get down here to 211, 212, kind of these bases that we made yesterday afternoon, then maybe it's a fly zone for me. But for right now, I'm going to hold back on Alibaba. Super disappointed. Glad we're off that 200 spot for sure, Neil. But at the same time, the momentum just always gets faded in this name.
Yeah, and like I want to go to Blinn in a second. That's why I have the chart up. I see you guys talking about it. But one thing to add: Tencent Music, they're literally being asked by the government to do facial recognition. They're going to do facial recognition for gaming on their app, so that no kids can violate the like no gaming after like 10 p.m. rule. And that's something that they're going to comply with. So this is the type of thing that's coming down the pipeline. It can be increased cost when it comes to that regulation, and that's what's holding these things up there. So I can't really add too much to Alibaba. I think we both like the stock. I just, you know, it's holding the bottom, and I think that's a good sign. That 200 gives you some comfort there. I want to quickly say BLIN, this was a runner from before You guys have already sort of I thought in the chat that people are already pointing out that that it turned off of the first resistance. Well, I had 775 as the first resistance, so $8 seems like it's turning around here. But on the run once again, this is not the first time it's moved this week. Or even last week, it had bigger moves in it. So just keep that in mind. But I think the second spot, if we retake that $8 level, I'm looking I had 860 to like 9 written down. Then I look at it back here and I'm like, man, that actually, if this really gets going, it might be a little bit safer up at that $10 range. So it does have some room to run. It's off of a double bottom here, sort of, and a breakout price off of like a 550, which usually is pretty good for a break. But just keep in mind what it did last week. It's obviously going to have some chalk here at obviously going to have some, I guess, cement, like a wall at $10 likely. And then you're going to go to these gap prices here up like 1150 if it really gets going. First things first, it still has to get through this $8, guys, and it has not yet.
All right, there was a minor headline, guys, just to mention on Bridgeline Digital, BLIN. Another company choosing their Hawk Search platform for some work. It says a global management company. It doesn't actually mention the name of the company, but a global management company choosing their Hawk Search platform. So a little bit of catalyst there for BLIN. Let's bring in Arun here, have a look at the overall market, check out the futures. Continuing to move back to the downside here, Arun. So 0.4 now on the ES.
0.4 on the ES, and we're in an interesting area. You know, yesterday when we were trading, the last couple of days actually, we were looking at 43.50 as the bottom, and whatever the high was at one point, it was 43.80, and then it became 43.85. But the bottom was 43.50 for a few days now, and in the pre-market, we got underneath it, but snapped right back. And then around 8:15 or so, we got back underneath it again, and we snapped right back. So even though we got underneath it, it does look like there's some sort of buy-side activity that's willing to hold some strength there underneath 43.50. So if we can get past that, I think we do have the window open for potential sell-off here. But if we get above 43.60, then that level is going to be solid, and you're going to have to then potentially look at longs going all the way up into the mid 70s. Again, 43.85 is the top end. That's a level that that's the area that we've been working with for a couple of days. 83.85. So if we get into the 70s, I think maybe a short is in play if it sets up. But for now, I think we're kind of bracketed in there between 60 and 50, but the 50, it all depends on how much activity we can get on the sell side, and can we overpower the buyers that are sitting down there, because there seems to be enough to hold the market up. So it's a matter of which side is going to get stronger as we get closer and closer to the open. And then once the market opens, I think you'll see the programs kick in and we'll see a direction come through. 60 is going to break, longs are in play. 50 is going to break and holds, then the sellers are in control. And then that's it. It's a binary choice at this point, and it's just a matter of waiting for those two price points to give you the direction that the market wants to go.
Great stuff. Thanks so much, Arun. We'll check back in again tomorrow morning, under 30 minutes, guys, until the open. Let's continue along. Netflix quietly making a pretty strong run here over the past week or so. It was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, now 6 days in a row to the upside. Back to some significant levels here. UBS out today with price target increase on the stock going all the way up to $620 for Netflix.
I just want to talk. Yeah, I just got into Blinn right there on that 750 dump down. So we'll see if Blinn can go. Netflix is just one of those names. I mean, you had to be buying on these dips if you are interested in it. I mean, look at the daily chart here. If and when this loads, I mean, another great level. It kind of reminds me of. I mean, it's not as long of a period of sort of non-movement here, but. These kind of levels remind me of Apple when we were down at 128, 129, in that area, and then now you break out from that and you start to go up. But, it's still very, very choppy. I think you still need to break the all-time highs of 600, which is coming right now, and that looks like that's going to be an interesting play. So basically 480 up to 600 up to 580, so that's about a week and a half, 2 weeks of movement straight to the upside. We're well above the 50-period moving average. I like it here. I don't know if it's going to be for a day trade. I mean, the spread is okay. 63,000 shares is actually pretty okay for Netflix, but you're bumping up to 570. So I think a 570 break. You're only at 557 right now. That makes sense to me. They have a lot of good shows. I think people obviously continue to support Netflix. I don't really know anybody that's canceled their Netflix subscription that's had it. They keep on bumping up the prices. There's more reach now. They're reaching to India, so on and so forth. So I think the plan for Netflix makes sense. It's a beautiful move to the upside. Obviously, it's not a reopen play because the more people that are at home, the less people that are going to be watching Netflix. But again, I don't think that means anything to the canceled subscriptions. So let's wait to see where Netflix goes from here. I like it for a long. We're only up that 1.6%. I think you can buy any dips. And I don't know if you want to take out the top today, but 550 is a nice little position to start at if we get down there.
Yeah, I mean, I had a resistance level maybe at 570 before it gets to that high. Blend's at the 530. Watch 550 is the top on that blend. DTSS, I mentioned. Blend's on the mind because, of course, that one just popped up for us there. And then 525, I think, could be interesting on a dip for Netflix. It's not the same sector, but I can tell you right now, very, very similar chart to what NVIDIA looked like before they announced the split. Where you were holding a long consolidation after what would have been a pretty good run. It's just a longer consolidation for Netflix and not as impressive a run going into it, but it could be primed for a breakout. Just watch out because the market could be a bit of a dictator when it comes to that as well. But Netflix, I think there's a chance for a dip buy in that 520 range. New support, I think, could be found above that 480 level. And 570 is what I look at for resistance. I'd love to see it consolidate, then break that heading to 6.
Brendan, just quickly, they're talking about DTSS here as it is starting to go near that high. We've got that long at a 5 break. We talked about that. We tweeted it out. It's on our list. It's on the sticky note as one of the only meme stocks. Well, we have that and Zila on our list today. But there it is. If you want to find it, you can go over to Twitter. But here it is, a 40-cent win, or 35, I guess, still going. For now, 45 cents win, 50-cent win. Can get higher, can get 60 cents, can get 70 cents, and 80 cents. DTSS breaking out right now, and your boys got this one again. So we're starting off the day. Going to go 1 for 1 here, still pending on Blinn and pending on DD. But here we go, guys. 50 cents in the money. Let's take out one more piece.
Auctioning off levels on DTSS. We'll see what happens when it gets to yesterday's high. Was a huge level for that one. Let's talk Morgan Stanley, guys. The big earnings report that was out pre-market this morning. They beat right across the board. Decent report overall, but once again, we're not seeing much follow through as far as the bank is concerned after reporting.
And look, we said this was going to be a fear for Morgan Stanley. It is. Like, it just, oh my goodness, that chart's. I'll use my daily chart here. Yeah, we said Morgan Stanley yesterday in the afternoon. I think maybe in the morning show as well. Getting to that 94.60 top, of course, and then trying to break through already going into earnings. There was nothing bad about their report. I mean, their trading division's done pretty well, obviously. Everyone's certainly talking about how good like M&A and deals have been going on. So that's fantastic for them. Overall, it just doesn't matter because they doubled it. They doubled the dividend when they passed the stress test, and that was the story, and that was a catalyst that gets us to that point. And then you're simply selling off on the news. So the good sign is, I think I said in the afternoon show, I'm like, yeah, it might hang around that 90 to 92 area. I'd love to see that hold up. That would be the at least decent sign of strength that I'm looking for. Pre-market volume is utterly non-existent despite this number here. So the last couple of days, there were plays that I had that I liked in the banks. Not really today. I think with a Morgan, if it's not breaking out through the high, I think there's not much to do in this range. And if it breaks down into those like low to mid 80s, I think that's where I'll be starting to pick this one up. There's no things forcing you to trade these names. You know, there was good trades on Pepsi for earnings. I don't see much of anything for Morgan Stanley here, although if it does sell off, it would have to be 10% for me to add in the long term. And it's not horrible to think about adding on a breakout either. Like if it actually takes out the high of the day, or the high of the day, that high at 95 or 94.60, that's not a horrible place to add. Sometimes buying when a stock takes an all-time high is what you got to do.
Yeah, Spieth looking real strong. Yeah, we also have Hughes, the Canadian, looking super strong in the British Open as well. And my wife in a golf pool took Jordan Spieth. So I'm hoping, and she also took my boy Patrick Cantlay there. I have a little undercover play. Victor Hovland there, Brendan, is one of my picks here for the British Open. So we'll see if he can hold the fort there, doing quite well as well. And somehow my wife has like Spieth and Casey and all these guys like out of nowhere, although Spieth's pretty heavy favorite. I picked Dustin Johnson to win. We'll see what can happen there. Maybe get some Paulina Gretzky love after that.
I like Marissa's pick there. Spieth has all kinds of momentum. Great year for him. He's won it before. Yeah, that's good. We'll keep an eye on the Open Championship, guys. Virgin Galactic. What do we do with this thing here, guys? It's what is it? Day 3, I guess, to the downside here for space.
Just quickly there, because after I did the rant about the levels on BLIN, I mentioned in the chat, I go 7 to 730 was going to be like the dip buy zone for me. It tips in there. First look, I almost got in, and then dipped down, touched 7 even. So it's going to be a scalp off of this level for me. I'll take some out in that middle of that range if I can get like 720s or so. Try to hold on for that little bit of a bounce. Just wanted to get that one out there. Sometimes what will happen is I'll make a rant. I'm like, oh crap, I meant to say that, and I'll throw it into the chat, guys. So always check that out a little bit. Virgin Galactic is finally, I want to say finally making a chance for that run to the upside, but we talked about this cluster on the way down, and this is going to be like a 33.80 or so all the way to like 38. So call it 34 to 38. I thought that we might find support down there, but I wasn't willing to like just sit in front of it. I think that turns into a bit of resistance. Every single day, the attempted pop at 9:30 and then fade has been a good trade. So you go with that thesis, and then there's that 33.80 to you can call 34 area afternoon top. I kind of feel like a pop into that area for reversal makes some sense to me. Above, I'd call like breaking that 33.80 and breaking back into the 34s. I think that's maybe where you can get like one of those momentum buys. But I ran away from the short entirely too early in yesterday's action. It was a good trade for me, but I took it out of the pre-market low. Instead of hanging on, not on the pre-market low, well, most of it on the pre-market low, and then in this cluster here, instead of holding on all day, which would have made a heck of a lot of sense. So if that trade does start to work, I want to leave at least half of it on for the 31.50 break at the low of the day. And if it gets above, like call it 34.25, 34.50, I think that's the place where it might make sense for a reversal long side. It's not there yet. To me, it's still looking pretty weak, I'd say.
Okay, so I have Dustin Johnson. Obviously, you got to have Rom. I have Kepka. I have Louis Oosthuizen as well, and Victor Hovland. So those are my picks. Wife, Spieth, Cantlay, Kepka as well, Casey, and then Morikawa coming. So I don't know if we're sharing notes here or not. I didn't see any Neil's notes, but mine are the same levels. So $34 here on space. Obviously, I think that's an easy one there. If you can get back to 34, that's kind of right here. This is where I want to talk about space on the 1 minute chart. If we can get going backside, we will be punching that long. This is all up on my Twitter feed as well. So $34 breaking. I like that as a long on space. I was kind of not joking, but I said like I'd be a buyer. This thing like at 27, 28. I can't believe it's fallen from grace so far. 25% in less than a week on space. So wow, to get out of that one, but we'll see if it can retrace. I don't think it retraces back, but it bounces around for sure. And then, yeah, I mean, the pre-market low break of 31.50. Look, we've just been absolutely, my trades aren't going to show up on here, but we've been destroying space. We had a 38.50, I guess it was right here, short that day. No, not this day. It was another day, I guess. It was all the way to the downside here. Must have been around here. Short, downside, all the way down. We've played this short nicely. We haven't had much success on the long, so that's why I'm a little bit hesitant at this 34 level, but you know what, momentum has to come back at some point, so we will be looking at space. Let's just check out the imbalance locator before we go back to Brendan. And right now it's just AMC space not on here from what I can see. Palantir, we'll talk about that as it trades throughout the day. There's DD, we're still in DD now, and that hasn't done much for me. We basically take the high break and it just hovers around here, not doing anything. So we're gonna watch out for DD, maybe average in here back to 12.45. But so far so good, man. We've taken a couple profits here on DTSS. We've averaged into Blinn here as well. At the bottom, watching the 7 doesn't look great, but DD, Blinn, and DTSS is on my mind right now, along with that space break.
Let's talk about Clover Health here, guys. We're going to get into some of the meme stocks here, but I want to mention Clover. There's a headline just out. You can see Clover down 5% here on that spike from 860 to 820. They just said that. I'll open this and move this over here so you can actually see it. Their CFO, Joe Wagner, to leave the company on August 13th. So that was just a couple minutes ago, came out. So Clover, one to watch today, down 5%, but a bit of a theme here because a lot of these meme type stocks definitely under pressure once again today.
Yeah, just quickly, prego to you, YA there, as we talk a little Italian here, grazie ragazzo there. You reached your daily goal. So congratulations there on one trade on DTSS. So I didn't reach my daily goal. I don't play super hard there in the pre-market on some of these trades. You guys already know that, so that's why. And there goes Blinn right down. So we flush ourselves down the toilet a little bit there in Blinn. We'll hold one piece on it. Still net positive on the day, and I think that's part of the key there. It's funny because I was buying Clover like around $9, you know, on some of those moves there when we saw volume. I don't have volume on the daily chart because I need to fix it because it crashed. But not too long ago, we had volume come in here like big time raiders right here around this level. That one day when we were thinking, oh, is it going to hold? Is it going to hold? And then look at the day before that, volume coming in at the end of the day. Oh, here it is. This is the day I was looking for here. When we thought about $10, and I thought this would have been a good swing trade here when it didn't break 10 and came back in. I thought we could reload around this 950 area for another run at 10, but it hasn't even looked at 10 again. It looked at 950 again and then said no thank you to that one and came all the way back down to 875 and change. And then now today you get a CFO resigning, I guess. And as you go, now we're making new lows at 820. Is that actually the newest? Yeah, so we've been lower before, but wow. Keep your powder dry for this one, guys. Clover, maybe have some buying opportunities down near $6-7, but not a good sign today with 1 million shares. I'm just going to fix my chart and put up volume here because it looks a little naked to me.
Yeah, I mean, that's 650. I mean, I'm not saying it's getting to 650, but that could be an interesting one. I got out of my Blinn if I'm buying a dip in the pre-market off a level like that. I looked to give horse in the mouth. I had a chance to get aggressive and just get out at the top of that cluster on the dip buy. It does the stall. It bounced up. I didn't take it. Break out at 7. And the only reason I'm kind of doing that is for a small loss is just I look back to like a 650, 660 on this stock and how it's traded in the past. And especially once these things break a level like that in the pre-market, a lot of times you're going to test that early support level on the first move up, and that's going to be that 650 to 660 area on BLIN. I got a DTSS. I mean, I guess it's more active trading this morning. Got a DTSS at that pre-market high, like I said, I was sort of going to look to do. It's pulling back, but I want to buy VWAP here because it kind of extended through the pre-market high. Looked a little bit strong. There was some serious buying. It took 2 or 3 shots before fading instantly. So I do want to pick some up here in front of that 5 even. I was already looking to buy at that 470 level in front of that 465. But only now holding that HUD. I'm just going to call it Hudi or Huddy. I'll call it Huddy. Still short that one. It popped up back above $6 and it's back to evens now. So I might look to reload that.
All right, let's go to DataC here. DTSS, that Occugen on the list as well. They had news this morning. They're going to apply to the Canadian government, guys, for the approval of their Covaxin COVID-19 vaccine. DTSS, 31% still, had a nice move there, 560 we were watching. Yeah, they announced yesterday, actually, the their Chinese subsidiary getting some deals done with China on 5G technology. So DTSS back up here. But remember, this happened yesterday morning. What a move that was, all the way up to 680 yesterday. So trying to go again here.
I think that's what Neil and I are both trying to catch right now as we've exited out of these positions. I am still long at 5, looking to reload. We just missed it. I put a bid at 515 there. We just missed it. It went to 517 or so. So we missed that bid. But yeah, still going to the upside. We are very, very, understanding of the move that happened yesterday, which is part of why we need it. And as you can see, look, I mean, it's kind of the recipe to success here is pretty easy. It's going to be a spicy meatball today because once you get that volume going through there, yeah, put a little sauce on that. You get 9, 8, like this is at the time yesterday, 8:30, 9 o'clock starts to ramp up, and then look what happens off the open. You get an instant huge volume spike to the high of 7 or 685. And then after that spike, it's just like the volume dies down and so does the stock all the way back to some of these levels. So I'm kind of hoping that we can get another spike upside here where we'll take another piece out if we can get to that. But the yesterday's high, obviously that 685 looking, pretty decent for another shot here, especially if the volume can continue to stay strong in the pre-market. I don't know if we're going to call 685 or not, but I mean, can we get to 6 this high, 575? I believe we can do that. So I think buying some of these dips makes sense. And then I just give a big red alert as usual. Neil and I both, you have to be very, very cautious of keeping some of the money in the wheelbarrow because if you do break back down below this 460, all we had to do was show you what happened yesterday, as you saw, where you faded out the rest of the afternoon, and then we made a bottom of 360. So don't get caught here looking for like a dollar move. move, and the next thing you know, you're down 2. So let's just be careful with this one. We still have a 460 break. I'm just looking, my order's still in there to get out if we do break that level. So that's what I'm gonna do. Average into the long side here until we break that 460, guys.
I want a red alert thing like Star Trek, though, a Star Trek red alert, not like the siren we have, but I think that's a good idea. Rob, I'll give you some thoughts about that. That would be a fantastic one, because like breaking news. Anyways, you just said all levels, and I think we're both thinking along the same lines. The only difference I'll say with DTSS is I actually might look for a short at that top after that. We're talking about that 680 that Sean mentioned, around $7. So if it does spike up there without halting, I might be looking for a reversal at that price. I'm not saying it's going to get there, but right now I'm thinking longs, I'm thinking breaks, and I'm thinking buy the dip. I don't know that I'd be looking rollover short unless it was right at that 930 fail for a scalp in the VWAP, or it would have to be below 460.
Mark Wahlberg, guys, on the screen over there. FXLV in New York here, IPOing today. His F45 training gym, I guess. This F45 Training Holdings Incorporated, an IPO today. So heads up on that, coming to market. Let's talk about Cinedigm, little one, reporting earnings. Was once a theater operator. They've transitioned into more of an online media type of company. So better than expected earnings here, guys, for Cinedigm, CIDM.
Yeah, I just, go ahead, yeah.
I was going to say actually transitioning. Imagine that. A company would talk about transition, they make a transition, and sometimes this is what happens to you. You're still a penny stock. Okay, they're over $1, but I mean, you're still a penny stock in this case, and it's a long road to doing a move like this for them. Great earnings, okay, good earnings for them. I shouldn't say the word great, but good. Trying to get back over the 50. They actually have supported $1, which keep that number in mind if they ever start failing or have a bad catalyst, because I think that's going to be an interesting and floodgate moment for them. But this 133, which you kind of look at here, mid 130s, 135, 133 is where we're sitting right now. 135, that's your 50 period. This was a consolidation level and a rollover. They're moving right into that range. So, you know, when I come over to the 15-minute chart, you get the spike up, turn on a dime at $1.50 in the pre-market, and then you're right back to that 133, 135 area. This is like line in the sand kind of thing. I was kind of hoping to see a level here, but not much of anything. It's actually more bid than ask at these prices. So that's why I'm actually not sitting in a short in and around this range after it popped up and consolidated lower, because for some reason there just aren't a heck of a lot of sellers down there. So I'll probably let this one spike into 150. If it does, then I think that could be a bit of a reversal or like a 930 fade type of play on Cinedigm. Otherwise, it has to break below this barcoding range, because looking at the chart, I wouldn't be surprised if it just sat 125 to 135 all day long. That's certainly possible with this stock.
I just want to say, someone asked me someone about Crow. Who was it? Oh, there it was. Tim. What's up, Tim? I see you here. Am I still in Blinn? So yeah. So what we did was we actually got out of our decent amount of shares on that 7 break, and then now we're just going to use, as you can see yesterday, 650 right here as a bottom. So if we could break through 650, then I don't want to see this thing go to 6. So we'll be out of Blinn if it does go back down to 650. And I did want to talk. What's up to Big Moo here? He says that I should get a bigger sticky note because the ideas are fire on here and I need more. So then he sent me this. I was like, yeah, should I get a bigger one? This, get this out of here. Get 25% off. Maybe I'll take it, or 20%. There it is. This Big Moo is a sticky easel pad. So this is a little bigger than we thought, but hey, I don't mind getting that. If anybody thinks that's a good idea, maybe I'll just put a big easel board behind me and start writing down some notes throughout the day on that thing. That's actually not a horrible idea if you do like that, but I'm already putting in a lot of work for these sticky notes, so to be writing there. But please note all of the nice art. We've added a few. Oh, you can't really see it on that. There we go. Yeah, so we added this blue randomness here. I'm not really sure what that is, but it's kind of cool. And then also, you can't see this piece, but this is an awesome art piece there. So we've got the lucky art pieces in there. Maybe we add a post-it note easel board at some point.
That sounds like a great idea. For maybe even a whiteboard, Sean, would be a great idea. Verb Technology has been on quite the run over the past couple of days, going back to last week, in fact, or 2 weeks ago. We went from $1 up to $3 now. They announced that new deal with shop.com yesterday. I mean, it sounds kind of like the shopping channel, only online. There's a TV or video portion of it. $3, it's currently struggling with right now. Above that, there's room all the way to $3.50. So if it starts holding 3, then we probably go to $3.50. If it holds below 3, it's probably coming down to where it was yesterday for that Verb, guys.
Come on, Neil. Smarten up, Neil.
Don't make me joke up.
We're having some jokes.
The three times and you're done rule is going to be infecting Hootie. If it pops here, it's 923. If it pops off the open, I'm going to get out at 666. Well, sorry. This is legitimately a cluster at 665. So I'm not saying 666 because because of that number. It's really, I want to get out in front of that cluster. So 665. 666 prints I'll be getting out of this one there. Small caps, I was looking at that verb, and I had the $3 level. We actually talked about this one in the afternoon, hinted at that $3 where it failed in yesterday's action at that high, saying that's going to be the key price to look at tomorrow. Basically back and forth, in and around that price. There's no way I'm touching it at $3. It makes no sense to me. Allow it to break away from that price. Either it fails at the top and you can catch that trade there, or you hold below and you're looking at a potential breakdown at about like a 280, 285 area. If you want to get in early 285, at least there's a 15-cent risk, but you do have that 280 level sort of staring you in the face, guys. So I'm looking at Verb, but I think Blinn, DTSS, and Hootie are the three that I'm most concerned about on the small cap realm.
Yeah. I see Big Moo on the chat. Yeah, no, I love that idea, man. That was great. I wasn't trying to mock it. I think it's great. I think it was awesome that you're able to find that. And then, the sticky notes are famous. They're legendary. I guess I got to keep it. New board. They love the board. I mean, now we're talking Sticky Note Nation. What about Easel Board Nation? I like that, Mike Jack there. Thoughts on KYNC? Okay, that was for Neil there. I love your stickies. I love your style, Sean. Look, thank you so much for all that love. I mean, we put the sticky note up, and they just started hitting, and it was just like, wow. And everybody wanted to know some of the work that we put in the pre-market. And again, like all of this is for free. More importantly, guys, go to watchlist.tradertv.live, and then that's where I get the basis for a lot of the sticky notes to start with, and then we start to look at levels, and then we add other names on here, like AMC and NEO and a few other names that we like to look at. And then someone asked me, I did fix my chart on AMD, so we can look at that here quickly. I just hope it stayed fixed. Do I like it? Yes, it did. It stayed there. Okay, so do I like AMD buying now? No, actually, I don't. I don't like the fact that we failed here at 95. That should have been a piece out there for me. Did not. I've already told these guys that anything that's in my RRSP, which is like a 401k, I'm actually never selling anything because I don't want to play this in and out kind of game. I'll do more of that selling on my TFSA, so like on the marginable account there for like a day trading account, maybe like you guys would have like maybe your PDT account or your swing trade account, something like that, then I would sell it. But for AMD, probably it's not wise to not sell anything at highs. You probably should. Apple was a good one yesterday. Microsoft, all the tech names are now at highs. So if you are getting nervous, I mean, now I'm kind of talking myself maybe into selling a little bit here on AMD or on any of these names. Apple just touched 150, Microsoft touched 285. So a lot of these names are high up, as well as Facebook. 350. I mean, what was the high on this one? 360 and change. Let's wait to see on this if it ever loads. But anyways, Facebook's right there. So almost, wow. Okay, better than I thought. They're remembering that one. 360 as the high on Facebook. So a lot of these names coming down. I just want to pre-warn everybody, just like what happened to the banks, happens to tech too. I remember last earnings report. Just go back and look last earnings season. I think it was Facebook was really the only name that really blew everybody out of the water. So just be very, very careful. Obviously, I do like Google, and I think that can be bought. This is my largest holding. I think this can be bought on any dips. These aren't. I can't shill these names, right? I can't like shill Google. No matter how much we buy, it's not going to change the price of this stock any bit. But I just think, look at this 50-period moving average. This is what I use. So big cap tech. But then I also thought to Brendan last night when we were still here, just talking a little bit, why not, if you do like a lot of these names, and my daily chart probably won't load, but why not just get into some of these ARK ETFs as well? I like FinTech, I like SoFi, I like PaySafe. Those stocks have been but you could buy ARKF, which is the ARK fintech space, and maybe Kathy Wood's got something going on there, investing in some smaller banks, use the buying power and the leverage that some of these names have. There's ARK AM now finally loading to get into some of these ones. So there's a lot of ETFs out there that you guys can invest in as well. As crypto, just quickly, Brendan, I just want to show this quickly because I don't know what just happened there. I was watching it because we're looking at different crypto names. I know Neil talks about Silvergate. We don't have to go over them. There's a lot of different names. There are a lot of different miners that we can get into. But there's Ethereum. It just broke 1,900 basically, went to 1,880. It doesn't seem like it's that much, but then shoots right back up to 19 and 10. So Just wondering if we talked about this a little bit. I did lighten up around 2,200 on Ethereum. We talked about that. And by lighten up, I mean I got out of about 15% of all of my crypto holdings. I even got out of BTC at about 32.5. I know I'm talking fast because we're running out of time. So let's throw back to Brendan, but Ether right at some pushing points now.
Minutes to go here. Still watching a few names, but that's it for the watch list today. Final thoughts on what to look at for the open here, guys.
Well, I mean, DTSS, we kind of said the names that we're looking at here. DTSS, BLIN are both big time movers. And look, some of these are going to give you that potential like run, halt up kind of thing, and that's why you're hunting them. So DTSS, I've only gotten in that one time. That dip right into 515. This is going to be that lower high that it put in. Probably should have been standing in front of it instead of around that VWAP. I'm going to back my order off because we're 1 minute to go. My order is backed into 470 now. I've canceled the one at 5 even. Going to hang on to Hootie, but was able to get some more out. So that one's been a nice little winner for me. And then there's still going to be Virgin Galactic and AMC. Virgin Galactic is making that move up for that potential fade trade off the high of the day at the open pre-market highs. 33.20. So that one's going to be one that I'm watching right into the open. But here comes ETSS, continuously pushing that high, Sean.
Yeah, no, I'm loving DTSS. That's a good one to look at with only 30 seconds to go. We also have DD. My largest position, guys, let's be perfectly honest, as that's all we do here, is DD right now. So DD, I have the most shares in DD. It's a $12 name. It's a lot more stable than the rest. But there goes DTSS, guys. We talked about that 650 level. I'm going to put an offer at 650. If I can make $1.50 on $5, let's do that, man. At 30%, hell yeah, on DTSS, guys.
And the countdown is on. You guys are cracking up behind me. Miss V's on the bell. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Ring it, Ms. V.
Let's go. So we are now open here in the market, and then the DTSS says, yes, we are open. And hold my beer as we stop at 580. Let's see if we can take out that 580 level. A big level right there to look at, guys, on DTSS.
So immediately, I mean, this is actually quicker than before. So I'm going to go with a hard stop at that 3350 area on Virgin Galactic. Oh my goodness, that was every single day it does this. It spikes in right to the high of the day, immediately flushes 3309, snap back into it here. Quick 50-cent winner. It's like 3 or 4 sessions in a row. It's basically been giving you this exact same trade on Virgin Galactic. I think eventually it's going to break the high. I will reload on this, but if it breaks that high of the day, now sitting at 33, 34, I'll get out of it. But I want to reload this if I can for sure on Virgin Galactic.
Great trade on Virgin Galactic there. We go bling, bling, because Blin upside right now, 670, our last bid there. And then we got out for a nice little profit spot right there on Blin now. So that was a good one. We're still holding small, but we're not super worried about Blin here at all. So we'll see if that can go. We now are into AMC. We did take that 33.25 level that we talked about, at least. I think it's on the sticky note. Yes, it is. So 33.25 long, but now getting nervous about this 32.50. So we break 32.50, guys. We'll flash out of AMC. But right now, everything's working, man. 35 cents in the money, Blin. 34 cents in the money, DTSS. And DD now 16, 17 cents in the money. Let's take some out.
Oh, I just keystroked on Virgin Galactic like an idiot. So yeah, it just went through that top. I accidentally reversed into I didn't want the long at this price. So I accidentally reversed into a long, and that's me taking it out at 33. But the first short was the only one that was good. Is this the day that it actually makes its run? I also have to get over to Hootie. That Hootie made a move all the way back up to Hootie Who. Why not? If you guys can name where that's from, certainly. I want to reload into that one after 9:30. 666 is my out on HUDI, but got to reload there. It looks like Virgin, this might be the day that it goes to the upside, so I want to find myself into a long.
Okay, guys, into a new position. Let's go Neo now. We'll see big stick here. Let's see if Neo can go to the upside right now. We're seeing about a fly out here for Neo. 43.50, we talked about that. That's again on our sticky note. So 43.50, let's see if Neo wants to go. I mean, the NASDAQ is right now not helping your boy because I'm long everything right now, especially AMC. We just took a nice little 30 cents. It's nothing, but hey, the market's falling down. Got to protect some of these wins. Give it to us, Brendan.
Early mover, guys, American Airlines. AAL just popping up on a volume scanner there. Just broke some levels from yesterday. Citigroup coming out today with a upgrade on AAL.
And BLIN, I'm going to cancel this bid here, starting to make its move back to the upside. It needs to get past this level right here. You're going to look at like a 725, this cluster, all the way up to like a 750. It could be in tune for a bit of a rollover at that particular price, but for now, I'm going to either dip by in front of the recent low or look for that breakout at 750. It's not quite there just yet. MTIQ, I see it has halted for sure, so I'm going to be on that one, but a couple of minutes before we get volatility halts, and I have to worry about them opening, so I can go draw my attention to DTSS, which failed off the high of the day here. So another failed high break. If it bounces off VWAP, this one's taken out the top. Otherwise, it's 470 and 470 alone that I want to buy in front of.
Yo, what up, apes? I'm back, baby. So AMC today. Hopefully now I don't get roasted on our trades of the day because, look, I'm just trading price action. I'm trading what I see. And this one is the chicken dinner winner. What up, apes? Right here you can see we did put a... We did put that on there, 33.25. There's the AMC long, and it's a banger right to the upside there. We take that out for about 80-cent win there on AMC. Now let's wait to see what's happening with NIO. This name getting faded out for sure right now. Back to yesterday's levels there. This is a 1-minute chart. Something's up with these charts. My charts crash, and I feel like I haven't fixed them properly. What's up, Brandon?
First halt of the day. Today going to this one, guys. Big mover yesterday, SGOC, just popping up through 15. Halts to the upside.
That had a 1220 level on it, I know for sure. Watch out, DTSS is coming to the downside. I've just got, that's not TAT, that's Virgin Galactic is now bouncing down to that 3250 level. I got 3270 on a buy. I know it's been a short 7 days in a row, but when it finally sustained the move to the top, I wanted to take the long trade. But I'm looking at DTSS. That rollover is continuing. I'm trying to be patient with this one, buying this dip. I don't want to be buying it too early. I'm still sitting at that 470 range. This one's starting to head to the downside rather quickly. SOGC is definitely a name I'm going to be looking at after that open trade, after it reopens. And the reason why is it is getting towards this like 16 area. If it were to get there, I think could be a bit of I mean, it gets a failure zone if you're going to look for one, but a breakout can still take you to like 20 bucks. So if it gets through that area, decent chance it gets to 20. Not likely it does so without halting first. So keep that in mind. It could reopen every 10% too fast. You can get a halt to the upside on SGOC. These ranges are bigger than that 10%. Brennan?
Seems like every day we talk about Moderna. Guys, here we go again. mRNA, another day, another all-time high. 251 just broke in there for mRNA.
Yeah, I told you that was one of the only names that we liked there on the vaccine front. But I guess I got to sort of screen cap this and send this out. We'll do this after. But there's AMC, guys. A nice little move to the upside. Now in the money. $1.40, $1.50, depending on where we go. So a nice little win here on AMC as it battles back today. So let's see how high we can get here on AMC. Bang, bang, bang. Still holding a third of that one. NEO's getting close to being out, man. I mean, 42.80, 42.70 downside. Not a good trade. We've averaged into this name, but look at the NASDAQ continues to puke today. So some good outs there yesterday. Brendan talked about lightening up some of the NASDAQ positions. Good trade. And now you're coming to the downside here. More for NEO. So we break that bottom, we gone. But right now, $2 though in the money. So yeah, diamond hands for me today on AMC, guys.
And here we go. We're going to power it up there, guys. I talked about Virgin Galactic. Look, bundled the short. Should have only probably had this like 2 times instead of 3 and then reversed into a long that I didn't want. So I talked about losing on this trade at 33, but I turned bull on the stock. I said it eventually was going to break these pre-market highs. We bought the dip on the pre-market range there, 32.50. We spat that out as fast as we could. I'm always covering in front of the recent high and then holding a portion of the trade so I can rinse and repeat, catch it on some falling swords, whatever you want to call it there. The falling sword that I've missed, and I'm waiting at 470. I told you guys I was waiting at 470. For now, we're holding up at $5 and a bit of a refresher at $5 on DTSS. SGOC has yet to reopen, but I think it should be in just a couple of minutes or so. I'm all over that one, but BLIN back below that 7 even. 650, I think, is that level you want to hold. Now $1.30 in the money on Virgin Galactic, so I don't want to look gift horse in the mouth. We'll take another leg out there. It was always going to be a day that these turned around. Looks like AMC and Virgin Galactic, today is that day.
Yeah,
well, I mean, for now.
We're loving Virgin Galactic on that side as well. Look at DD, guys. You want to talk about a turnaround story? I mean, I told you this was my largest position. 1263 now for DD. We're looking to get some out right now. If we can get out some 93s, 94s, we'll do that. I'm actually at 94. That may be a little high. I don't know. I mean, one more penny. Come on. And then we can get out there at 94 for a nice big win here on DI as we go through that trade right now. I don't know. Maybe 94. Like, am I going to miss this by 1 penny? Let's go DD. NEO coming back a little bit. Our average price is 39, so it's not the end of the world for NIO, but it's still not a great one there. DTSS, like Neil just mentioned, we're now 6 cents out as we've averaged into this one. Watch out for that 460 to break Blinn. We took a lot of profit on this one, back to the positive side on trading for Blinn off of this 680 reload. So we told you lose, reload. More shares here. Obviously, when the market opens, we're a little more confident in the trade. So let's wait to see what happens now with some of these positions. We're also short on Zila right now. breaking through that 350 level, but I'm not going to hold this one long as Zila is a crazy stock. So I think we're just going to give this one back to VWAP 370. Willing to take a 20-cent hit on this one. As there it goes, man. The diamond hands continue for AMC. Now, where do we get out of this one? Let's just be smart about this. Maybe 36.50 into this area, maybe 37 yesterday as we peaked out there. So AMC back on the move, guys. Thank you, Ape Nation. I'm here for you. I trade price action, and today we go long.
Yeah, I mean, the longs are continuing to be good. We just took another fresh high on Virgin Galactic, so I'm going to take the profit out once again at that high a day. Here comes the dip by opportunity. It looks like, VWAP's going to be sitting here at 33 even. I would maybe check that down to like a 32.75 as well. Check down. What am I, like, talking football there? Check down, whatever. Clover just got back up to that pre-market high level where it did that flush in the morning, and then it just had a pop at 9:30. Looks like if you're going to look breakout, 865 is that key price. Forget about the pre-market high. 865 is where Clover could break out. I'm going to get that order locked and loaded. Brendo?
Anyone watching this UNH, we talked about it yesterday late in the day. The call is on right now, so they reported earnings, obviously, but the call happening right now. The CEO just making some comments regarding Biogen's Alzheimer's drug, just saying they're still developing their policy on how they're going to address that. So UNH not really doing a heck of a lot. We are negative, but just testing day lows here.
All right, yeah, UNH, we talked about that one for sure, guys, yesterday, and I was nervous about that one because it was so well priced to the high side, so hopefully you guys did watch a little bit of that one. Zila now starting to make moves back to the downside now, and again, it's just, negative yesterday, negative today. We were looking for a spot to get in, so we picked 350, so now we're short on that name, 350. We'll wait to see where it goes. It looks like we're getting very, very close. We could have took NEO out for a decent spot there where we'd only lost 10 pennies, but we didn't, so it doesn't really matter. Can't talk about it if we don't do it. So now we're gonna have to wait for NEO. I'm still looking for it to test this bottom, but I mean, the NASDAQ is not bouncing whatsoever. We talked about Apple at 150 there yesterday, Brendan, and now it's okay. It's not going down that much, but still 151, 150, 148, 50, not a great spot, but looking for bounce spot here in the NASDAQ. This might be a good one to pick up. And we just got into something else, did we? No, we did not. AMC just still moving around.
Yeah, and that SCOGO, SGOC, SCOGO, well, I don't know, whatever the heck we're going to
Whatever it is.
Whatever we're calling it. This is a similar setup to, I think, DTSS 2 days ago.
SCOCO.
Where I originally had a long, but I was no lot long in SGOC today, but I was in DTSS, same setup. It does the open off the halt. I'm looking to go long when it breaks out because I think there's room to that 19. We started at that 1640, stop at the actual halt price. I then buy this. If this trade lost, it was short, the rest of the day was a short on DTSS, and we crushed that short to make the money back. Although this is holding the halt price on SGOC, so my average price is in the middle, which it usually is with the setup at 16 even. We'll risk a buck. I'm actually not offering until it's at that 17 area, guys. But there goes that 16. I think SGOC could turn into a short if it continues to hold this, and I'm not going to wait around too long if it gets below that 15 price. Virgin Galactic. It bounced down towards that 32.50 again. It's now $1 in the money a second time, but it reversed last time, so I will take another bit of profit off from Virgin Galactic as I now watch SCOCO. It's going to take a hit on that long. Yesterday in DTSS, not holding this level here ended up signaling a short for the rest of the day or the majority of the day. I would look for the same thing in SCOCO, although for now, it seems like it's holding up.
Okay, so NEO, I mean, a little bit of diamond hands on this one. This is a little bit like reverse diamond hands because we had to hold it against ourselves to come all the way back up. But we've seen NEO do this too many times. The only real mistake here is not identifying this bottom a little. I mean, we identified it earlier, but we didn't put our order there because we got in a little bit too early. That was the only mistake there. We tried to defend that 43 level, but you know what? My experience here in NEO should have reigned the day because I knew that it doesn't care about even levels, guys. It doesn't. I mean, it just murders these levels. It doesn't care about size, doesn't care about anything. So just watch out for NEO. You got to play the straight momentum on this one. So right now, we're straight momentum, homie, on this one as we go to the upside right now on this name. You want to talk about straight momentum? Bang on AMC, man. That's the diamond hands that I'm talking about right there, man. 33.25, out, 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 out. Now we flashed out. Finite now on AMC as we just take that out almost once. I mean, now, today at least now, if this is the trade of the day, I know Neil has some good ones on space, but at least now today, guys, I don't get roasted because this is a nice long there on AMC. Now I'll probably get roasted for getting out too early, but I mean, how perfect is this out for me anyways? Right now, I do like that 35.60 level as possibly a high, but that's a good spot for me. So I'm super happy. I hope you guys took that AMC trade with us as well, free off Le Sticky Note.
And the NTIQ, so I know everyone's asking about that one because it was supposed to be, it was a halt. I mean, actually, for some reason, I can't pull the quote on it, so maybe I'm getting the symbol wrong. Apologies for that, but DTSS is now on the mind because it is getting towards that 470. I said I didn't want to miss this dip. And I've been sitting at 470 for quite some time. It's starting to consolidate a little bit. So as that happens, there's a bit of a bid at 478. If it bounces off that price, I'm going to look to remove liquidity, maybe catch something like in the low 80s or so. But it's right here, right now. You know what? That's going to be good enough. I'm just going to start into this trade here at 82s. Still holding on to Virgin Galactic. That SCOCO broke that 15. So for me, this could signal a short for the rest of the day. That's what happened yesterday on DTSS. Though DTSS, good long originally, took it off not quite at the top, but close to it. Now back in that same range. If 460 goes, $4 is the bottom. That's why I wouldn't hold through 460. At least I'm not going to hold through 460.
Look, I just posted something there because you're getting a lot of love here for AMC, but this is really what it's all about for me, and it's just about you guys because you are the ones that are making the calls here and hitting the keys, right? It's easy for me and Neil just to say buy this, buy that, whatever, but you guys are the ones hitting the keys. So I'll say you're welcome for the call, but you know, again, it's more about you, and you know, you have to put the trades on, and you're risking real capital here. So so are we, and it's just like every time you're putting your money on the line, just make sure it's the right spot for you, and then we'll go with that. So Neo up to 50 again. I mean, this is walking on water for sure for me today, as we're going to go on Neo right now. 58, so we just took a little spot out there. Sorry, 48, so that's a nice little win for us as we continue to go on Neo. 20 cents for Neo, 10 cents for Blinn, flat on Zila. DD, big win for DD here. We only have a third left. That's a big one, man. We got out right at that 94.95, like we talked about it. And then DTSS, we got to wait for that, but we're getting close to getting punched out of that one. It'll be a flat trade on the day because we gave too much back there. And then AMCC, someone said like that's not diamond hands if you get out, but honestly, man, 33 to 35.50 for me. That's diamond hands for me, guys. What's up, Bread Dope?
Group we haven't talked about for a while, guys. Some of the NFT names popping up here. Remember those Lukang Technologies? They had some technology that was around the NFT game. Going back to a couple of months back, I believe it was in this area, we saw that big move, and then again up to $3. Not a huge move yet, but volume, big time relative volume today on LKCO.
Definitely worth a look. I mean, I kind of shouted out there, and I don't know if you guys even heard it when I said it's day trading. Diamond hands in day trading is holding past multiple levels, and then, you know, when it's an obvious resistance level, you're holding past that. Like in Virgin Galactic here, look, I want to be net long, and I kind of said this yesterday. When it eventually did a reverse, I want to be holding. This is me trying to buy a dip there. We don't get it, so I can go ahead and cancel that bid, actually. But now I think I'm looking at that previous pre-market high, 33.16, 33.25, maybe let's call it, because I want to get more aggressive. You know, that's, as a day trader, we're flat at the end of the day. Like, there's no such thing as diamond hands in that regard. But buying dips and holding on to the long is what you're going to do here. I did get DTSS, so we're long that name as well. I will note that MT, I finally, like, I was basically being a little bit dyslexic or unable to find it. MITQ over on the Amex on our system is halted now to the downside again. There was an opportunity on that reopen for a bit of a short. This is a lower liquidity name than SGOC, so I think that one's a little bit more interesting to me. And Zila on the move as well. But DTSS, that one's heading back into the downside.
Just fixing my earpiece here as we go. Yeah, someone said I better cover Zila. Yeah, you're right. I better. So if we break through 371, we've already talked about that. We were just looking for the short today. There's no way in whatever that I'm going to be holding this one. Come on, Mouse, let's go. Okay, let's go on this one as well. As we turn bullish, man, look at NIO. I mean, this is going to turn out to be one of my top stocks of the day, and we were nervous about it. But again, I can't just keep touting the sticky note. We had some fun with it earlier, but honestly, man, I mean, the sticky note, I talked about Neo Long. I mean, even right here, even the note that I put at the bottom, long been weak. You got to go long. It's been weak for too long right there. I mean, whatever. You can just check it out online there, but that's a good trade for me to the upside. Now we'll see about what happens at 44. May take another piece out right here if we can get it. So, you know, I don't want it to, I mean, I'm waiting at 95, maybe a little bit high here for Neo, but let's see if we can get it. I mean, why am I worried about 5 cents here when I'm in the money $1, guys, on NIO?
Yeah, and I said, good.
There it is. Got it anyways.
Carver halted to the upside. It's done 400,000 shares in volume. That is not one that you should be involved in. I mean, it's not to say you can't be involved in it, but I got to look at what's moving, to be honest with me. And if you cannot leverage up on a strategy, if you can't scale it, and I would watch out particularly with Carver. The volume can come in for sure, but watch out. DTSS looking weak But Blinn, refresher at 7 even. Every time it goes below, someone's buying it back up to that price. Might be stronger than DTSS, which is not what I originally thought. I'm hanging on Virgin Galactic, or I'm buying the dip. For me, this one looks like it has a lot of room to be able to go. Average in only coming at 460. We're in front of it on DTSS. That's coming up any minute now.
Okay, so just an update on on AMC here. We did get out at that level here at 35.50. So good level there, and let's see what happens now moving forward. But there's AMC just to show you guys. We did take that out. It did go up to 36. We did talk about possibly this 36.60 area as being something of interest. So we'll watch out for that one on AMC as that continues to go. So nice trade there for me. Good money in the pocket, and we'll just look to go on. Zila's looking like that'll probably get out sooner rather than later as well. Let's call that stock up right now. There it is. So Zila now resisting a little bit. This may be a good average into the short. I think I'll put one spot on now to average in. But again, I don't want to be married to this position. So we do have our out to the upside. Did I get fully out of NEO? No, I did not. But there it is, man. That's $1 in the money on NEO, 17 cents in the money on Blinn, 41 cents now. Yes, and I'll consider this one to be diamond hands, guys, because I don't really want to hold DD, but we've done a good job doing it so far today. So good hold on DD. Long here in the pre-market of 1260. Was looking to get longer, but didn't get that opportunity. NEO still the dollar, and DTSS. Where is my out on this? Oh yeah, 460. This is getting a little nasty. What's up, Brendo?
This RCAT, Red Cat Holdings, had that deal a couple days back. They bought that drone company, Teal Drones, just popped up through 5 there. Testing some of these levels from late in the day yesterday, up 2% for RCAT again.
And verb is the word. It does take out that 3 to the upside, but fails at the high of the day, which is kind of exactly what we were talking about in the morning show, in the pre-market. Now, if it holds this 3 level, I wanted to pick a direction. It picked the upside. I'll buy the dip off of 3. It's taken out that high. It still needs to go, though. So I want to be buying dips in front of that 3 even. Not going to let it go through that low of the day. I was waiting for verb to make up its mind before jumping into it. You're not forced to get into the trade too early. DTSS has for now held at 460. My price now 479. I don't want to add into it any more times here. Virgin Galactic, which I am holding on to just a little bit, continues to go to the upside. We're now at 34.30. These highs on Virgin, let's be honest, the stock still hasn't broken past yesterday. This level right here, like 34.50, it's not even past this. As much as it looks like it's been good so far, there's still lots of room for Virgin Galactic to go. So look at that 34.25 to 34.50 area as the next level of resistance. If it turns, I want to buy that dip. Otherwise, I might have to take a breakout at 34.50. Valerian?
Hey Neil, SoFi is looking to break $16 level. Are you guys having any plans to trade SoFi today?
Yeah, I mean, we have plans to trade everything every day, so we'll wait. $34, I will look at SoFi in a minute. Just looking at that level because Neil was like, yo, $34, and I didn't realize that 34 was my breaking spot there. For some reason, I didn't have an order, so now we'll wait for 34 to break one more time. It looks like we were pretty right on the level, but it only goes to 34.30 on that, so let's wait to see. I mean, I called it coming back to 34. Would have been a better long down there, like I think Neil was looking long on that side. He did have a nice short to begin the day, and I have to apologize. Here we go. Now we're in it. So now we're into space long here, 34.03. So let's see. Maybe we'll take a piece out if we can get high enough here. But right now, looking for a nice little bump through 34.50, the high 34.30 here. Like to get a little higher than this, man, but it's definitely resisting at these levels, guys. Again, maybe we got to change our mind on this play.
I do want to come over to SoFi just for a quick second. I know it's already moved, and look, it is what it is. Like, it's already popped up to the 16 area, but I'm looking at the last time it tried to break out from here, and that's going to be yesterday's action in the morning. It couldn't get past the 16.25. Clear line in the sand the last couple of sessions if you go to that 16.25. So if it can't get through there, maybe take some profit off. You got that bottom. 16.25 sets up as a bit of a breakout price here, and it's right at that even level. So I'll wait for another quarter. Before I look at it long. I think it's maybe a decent rollover from that price, and I think if it does, watch like a 15.50 on the buy. So much for that DTSS. Looks like it's pulling back. And Virgin Galactic, which I'm not going to get too far away from here because that's the one that, it is what it is. It's the one I like today. I put my order for a breakout at that 50 level, but if this is the area that holds, we showed it on the daily chart in the 15-minute as well, I'm still going to be buying that dip. I've gone into the long bias on the short term at least, but I did miss this opportunity. Look, I'm kicking myself because in DTSS, I got this reversal. I did not get it on SGOC. I was saying the entire time, if it reversed past that halt price, I would get out and it should turn into a short. The rest of the day, it was a good short on DTSS. It was a good one off of that 15 level, at least down here. I didn't catch it. However, if it comes back up to VWAP, I'll take my shot. I'm kind of hoping the train hasn't left the station without me on SGOC. Brendo?
Reshape Life Sciences, RSLS, when we were talking about a little bit last week, just popping up here on huge volume. Once again, don't see anything on this, but 12% so far for RSLS.
All right, so we are trying to hold things a little bit longer. You guys have heard me say that over and over again. So that's why we're able to get these 44 tops and things like that on NEO. So we had a $6 winner on Softy. We've been crushing some of these names. AMC as well. I mean, that just turned off of that out where we had it. So, I mean, that's a good little name there. Now it's kind of barcoding. So, you know, trying to hold things a little bit longer is what I'm trying to put into my repertoire. And we're doing that pretty good. Blinn does go up side. I mean, I can't believe, did it actually hit 750? Because if it did, man, that was 80-cent winner that I didn't take. So we're going to go back to Blinn soon and put an order there. Oh, well, the order's there, but if we can get it now, we'll try it maybe around the 740 area on Blinn and just take a monster win there if we can. Virgin Galactic is fading in here. But yeah, back to VWAP, maybe a good little long. We'll put some longs on board one more time. But then if we start to fail again, like you know, I was married to the long a couple days ago, and it definitely failed that day. So now I'm not really sure what we want to do here with Virgin Galactic, but there is some size. So let's just try to go long and see if we can hold off this VWAP. I think that's a good play right now.
Steve on the chat there, I will not pull a hamstring chasing trains. I actually didn't realize that I'd ever told that story, and if I didn't, I don't know how you managed to say that. I literally pulled a hamstring chasing a train once, and I have a rule in life that I never chase any kind of train or bus or whatever. I'll just walk. It's not worth it. It's rather embarrassing. That Carver immediately fell to 23, back below its original halt price here. So I think weakness below 21 makes a lot of sense. I feel like I probably had to pay for shares to get that for the locates anyways. But DTSS is trying to bounce. Someone asked where my stop was. It's been at 460 all morning long. It just bounced at 463. I got my offers in here, and I shouldn't have two at 88. There you go, only one. If it gets to 88, and then again in front of that 5 even, in front of VWAP, I will not look a gift horse in the mouth. I will take half of it out. I will look for another pop a little bit higher into that 530 range, but that's a game I wanted to play. Talked a little bit about Clover. When you guys mentioned it, I said, okay, I'll wait for like an 865. That's this area right here to participate in the breakout. It held VWAP. Now let's see if Clover can get going. This is also negative to positive area. 868 is where it closed in yesterday's action. So we're catching it right here. Your support becomes this level off at 850. I think it's worth it for a bit of a dip buy. It's a tight little cluster that I want to operate in because if it breaks that, I mean, you're talking about $8, and I don't want to give it all the way to $8. Brennan?
I mentioned that Lukong earlier, LKCO NFT name. Here's another one. TKAT just popping up through 750. Volume coming back into some of these guys.
Yes, sir. To come, yeah. I mean, these things have been going crazy as of late. And what else is going crazy is our net right now, as we're just on fire, needless to say. I mean, look at NEO just continue to go. Like this one was, I mean, I'm just really proud of this one, actually, because we talked about this very bottom. Thank God we didn't get wicked out right there at that bottom. We did have it set lower, so it wouldn't have mattered. Even if it touched here, we were a little bit lower than that, so it wouldn't have mattered, but that's a good bottom that we identified off yesterday afternoon. And then again, watch the sticky note, man. We talked about NEO and how beat down it's been the last couple days. Down, 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 down. It's touching the 50 period. Wow, coming close enough to touch the 50 period moving average at 42. And then look at this one. Bang, bang. I mean, maybe this is the trade of the day. I don't know. 44.25 off of a good little look here on the sticky note. So happy with that. Hopefully you guys hit that with us. Zila's the loser of the day. Oops, sorry, that's still NEO. That's still going like, wow, $1.30 now, $1.40 in the money. But Zila, we did take that hit. We tried it through 350. We tried to get a VWAP out, out, out. Now looking to take this level out. So let's wait to see. I still do have a bid to go on Zila. Wow, we're going crazy right here today. Something's just ripping. Oh yeah, Virgin Galactic. Look at that buy on the bottom, guys. Like the whiz is in the building there. Good buy there. We talked about why we wanted to protect this little bottom. We did that, and now we get the the reward. So as we're talking here, the net, isn't that the best when like you're doing something and you go back and you see you've just made X amount more money than you had a couple minutes ago? So space, nice little fill there on that high of the day. So let's see if we can run from here. Man, this is another good day.
Absolutely, and that Blinn, it was looking so strong. I'll be honest with you guys, it was looking pretty strong. I was saying that around that 7 even area. Oh, not BAC. Don't do that to me. I was just looking at BAC. Blinn now getting back below. That chart's frozen. We'll go to the 15-minute, guys, and go to the backup. It's now breaking back below that 7 even area. If this is going to get below 660, I'm going short on BLI. I thought I was going to be in the long trade on BLIN, but I couldn't find my way back into that one. So it's going to be a 660 short for me. A break of 660 short, I should say. Obviously, Virgin Galactic is working out pretty nicely. So we're going to hang on to that one. But DTSS, it just tried to break off 460. I thought it was about to go in the money. It did not. Clover, I will try to buy that dip if I can get it in front of that 850. Otherwise, we want to hang on pretty tight to that one. And Carver is the other one. Of course, that chart's still frozen, so I'll have to come back in a second. But Carver opening back up. I want to be shorting around this 21 even area if we can catch it, but it's consolidating right there. Just got to get the locates.
Okay, and yeah, same thing happening over here with me, just trying to figure out where we're going from here. But we've already made more money today than we did yesterday by the time the show closed. So what a monster day. Congratulations, guys. You're right, man. Money spitting out today on AMC. Wow, as it just breaks higher, higher, higher. This is why, man, I don't even have any short levels written down. We talked about this possibility of a short, but that doesn't come through. And then, yeah, man, we called this long. We don't have it still, but congratulations to anybody long there. I just love the community, and I hope everybody can continue to make money with us daily here as it just continues to go. Today's been almost a perfect day for me. Blinn coming back down now. Damn it, we missed that. I can't believe we missed that opportunity there. That was ridiculous. DD right now. Talk about another one, man, that's going through. DD for the win right now. Both Chinese names. I haven't even looked at Alibaba. Do you notice that, guys? Like, this is how I trade. Like, yesterday was not a great day on Baba, so we just go back and we say, okay, and we find something else, and we just start to destroy these stocks. Look at Space right now, up to the high side. This is a 50-cent winner on Space. This is $1.50 on NEO. This is 60 cents now on DD. Blinn, 4-cent losing. We'll talk about our losers. DTSS looking to break the bottom. We'll try one more spot here, but we won't actually. If it comes back above 480, there it goes. We'll be out of this one right now. If it comes back above 480, we'll look at DTSS. But again, look, like we cash in there, and now we're giving some back. That's why you got to take some out when these kind of moves happen, guys. This is part of the game. This is how you keep your capital. You don't get like destroyed on plays like this. So you got to be very, very careful. Make sure you don't average in too much. And I hope you're learning something from both Neil, myself, and Brendan. Welcome to the jungle. We have fun in games, and especially over there with Brendan at the big screen. Let's go some Guns N' Roses.
Hey guys, 10 o'clock. Let's have a look at North American markets here. Pretty choppy start overall to the day. S&P back to the downside here, 0.18. You can see the Dow 0.2 in negative territory. Not huge moves, but again, we are negative. The NASDAQ, both composite and 100. Back in negative territory as well. Look at the Russell leading once again today, 0.8 to the downside for small caps, so under pressure. Here in Toronto, the TSX basically flat. We were up a little bit more than this initially, but also coming back. Yeah, Alibaba, here we go. Finally, we get above that 216, the pre-market high there on decent volume as well, but still kind of stuck in this mess over on the daily chart. So it is showing a little bit more strength, to say the least. Today, Netflix, another one we talked about in the pre-market, did give you a nice opportunity to the downside, but came right into some key levels from yesterday. Great buying opportunity, just ripped all the way back up to essentially where it started on the day, guys, for Netflix. Back over to you.
Still like a resistance at 570. I mean, if Netflix actually gets back all the way to those tops we talked about in the morning. I said where my stop was. You guys asked, like, I'm in this short, and of course, Hootie, you're going to see, was a good one for me. But when I took the trade off 8:30, sort of 9:30 in the morning at the open to the upside, I said my stop would be if it broke 665 and I placed it at 66. That's it triggering right here. And this is it continuing to go to the downside. So this is not top wick because technically it was higher in the pre-market. But that's me making top wick anyways, at least for that move. This is what the stock has done. And sometimes, I said this in a tweet, it's like you have to be willing to short sometimes at the low if a stock is weak enough, because you see this and you're like, the move is done. Clearly it's not. That's why I continued. I got stopped out exactly where I said I would. So as much as it's a winner, it could have been even bigger if I'd gotten back into it. Virgin Galactic, still going to be hanging on to that one. if this will actually load for me because my charts have been a bit of a bugger this morning, but we have not broken that 34.50, so the breakout idea has not happened. I just got into Verb finally to that long side, but I had to give up the ghost on DTSS when it broke 466, so I'll do that for DTSS temporarily, and I can tell you right now that Carver is one thing that always has to happen is the second one of these comes on my radar, immediately hunt for that pay for short because we had to pay for shorts. I wanted off at 21s. I kind of said that when it broke back to the downside. But by the time I got the locates, it's already flushed down $2. I will not chase that one. Not going to pull a hammy chasing Carver at the low of the day. It's already come and gone. Move on to the next trade, guys. The next one for me was just getting into Verb.
And guys, I mean, this DD break there, you're 1260. Look where we are right now. You're up that 6.18%. It's still moving out there. It's still long on DD. So we'll put that up. But good trade here. 75 cents now in the money. I mean, it just took out yesterday's high. So that may be a spot. I'm just going to hold this one as DD just continues to go. Check out an NIO, man. I mean, you want to talk about a banger here. Straight cash to the upside, 44.50 right now, and still ripping. So this is a great little trade there. We'll see about yesterday. We'll do a little bit more work here on NIO, as today's been a monster day. I hope you're having a good time here watching us as well. NIO, let's just have a quick little look. Yeah, we do have these little stop levels here, 44.70. So let's put an offer right now, man. We'll get this out if we can. We're at the highs. NASDAQ's starting to go back to the downside here, so we got to take some profits out. But NIO still wants to go, so maybe a break below this level, 44.30, and we'll call the day on NIO. But right now, let's let this thing run a little bit. You guys have seen that, man. We're building, we're adding more and more to the toolbox every single day. It's been a perfect July. We had one bad day in June. It wasn't even a bad day. I think I lost single digits on that day, or double digits, I guess. So not even in the hundreds on that day. But now we'll go look at NIO, man. It just continues to make moves to the upside. Another positive day here for us. And we're just going to continue to watch this thing grow. And by that, I mean our account to the upside. But Virgin Galactic, we spit in the face there a little bit of that 30, like right here, yesterday's sort of highs of 34.50 right here, this little level there, that made highs today at that level. So yeah, maybe this is a reload spot, maybe not, but I'm still going to be getting out of this thing if we do break back down below VWAP. I just hate having losers on board.
Yeah, and I'm going to go ahead and cancel my Cinedigm order. I can't believe sometimes you got to clean things up, and of course, that means canceling stop orders that are no longer necessary when you've taken profit. So I had a couple in there that did not need to fill because you go the other direction, which you don't want. But Cinedigm, I'm not going to stand in front of that 150. No need to do it. I said if it doesn't break to the upside, it's going to likely possibly hold 125 to that 135 area. It's done nothing but do that. I think there may be a short opportunity there, but we can always go back into that later. Verb, we've already taken one little scalp trade here as it bounced off of this previous pre-market high into VWAP. It's now looking to hold a little bit lower. I think if it can't, the next time it bounces, it just bounced off that $3 range, which of course was a level we liked. If it cannot get back up and through like 315, I would just cover this one at 3 even. Definitely take some profit in front of it. I'd like to see it bounce off and I can hold like a 3 even level, but there is no big bid on Verb in front of 3. Like, I mean, 15,000 shares in stock doing 60 million. I'd expect to see 10 times that, and it ain't there on that bid. So looking rather weak. Virgin Galactic looks like it might be pulling back. I'm still buying a dip on this one. It's just a matter of not getting in too early. I've been waiting around for VWAP. I'll cancel that one here. I've been waiting for a VWAP bounce, and it's getting maybe like 20 cents away and then falling apart. Or so bouncing back up, I should say, not falling apart. I'm used to shorting. But it looks like you have to get a little bit more aggressive, maybe catching a 60 area on Virgin Galactic space. I said 34.50 be the next jump zone. That's still the high of the day. So you can have a target. If I hadn't taken profit out already, I'd definitely be taking more out in front of 34.50. So if you hang on to this trade, I would bank some in front of 34.50, as good as it's been so far. It feels like that's a line in the sand.
YVR is up 44% today. YVR.
Really?
Yeah, we had these guys on. What up to Josh Jackson? Oh, now halted there. If you're a fan of Mighty Ducks, we had these guys back on the show. It looks like just volume kicking in now. Obviously, Brendan's going to have
Huge
something on this name, but we had them like pennies. I think it was even before that. I don't even remember it in the dollars, but maybe we had it around here, $1 and change. We'll find out, but YVR's already gone up. Let me guess, this is an NFT story, Brendan?
I just right now finished clicking send on an email to their PR rep. So a note has been sent. We will find out shortly, guys, because I haven't seen too much specifically for Liquid Media here. But yeah, just halted, as you said.
Yeah, good little look there. We're always going to look for some haul plays. And just to give you guys an update here on NIO, we are going to get out if we break back down through 44.30. So we're going to give this one a little bit of love. We are now back at, yes, sir, like, wow. What kind of a day has it been? What kind of a week? What kind of a month? What kind of a year has it been for you guys? NIO just continues to move, man. Like, if this is the way trading is going to be for the rest of the year, then hell yeah on that one. It's been super, super successful, here on the show. So thank you guys for watching. And thank you to Russell Jackson as well for the kind words. Always a pleasure having you. Forget about pleasure watching me. It's a pleasure having you guys on board because we wouldn't be doing this if we didn't have the viewer support, obviously, like we do. So on that note, please hit the like, please hit the subscribe, and please hit the share. Okay, Verb. Everyone's asking me about Verb, but I'm going to ask Brendan about it because honestly, I don't recall anything on Verb. I know they're obviously a technology company just because that's what their name is. And now we'll wait to see, but VERB up that 20%. Tons of volume this morning.
It was news yesterday.
Yeah, now it's fading back in, so we'll find out. But, I mean, today, man, 60 million shares already and almost even beat the volume it's done yesterday. So Verb today going crazy, but right back into these areas. And, yesterday's high, 295, right where we're at right now, guys.
Actually, it was interesting. We got a super chat about this one yesterday. I was just sort of talking about it. It just held at $3, and of course, my chart is frozen on YVR, so that's a bit of a pain in the butt. It had just held $3. I just got in and out at 301, and out when it broke 3 even here. But this chart will have to close it and open it back up for you guys. I apologize. My charts have been finicky this morning, but Verb could not hold 3. Scalp 307 into 315, and then in back at 301 and out when 3 even broke.
Man, Clover, how did we miss this one? I was talking about this in the pre-market. That bottom, wow. We were even talking, come on, let's go. We were even talking, this is a 1 minute range, about this $8 bottom. We talked about it here on the chart. Where was it? It was that wick down is today. So did we go to 750 in the pre-market? Maybe we did. But that $8 bottom there looked like it wanted to maybe hold. We've seen some issues. It's dipped down below 7 before, down to 675 or so. So yeah, Clover today, wow. A nice, okay, they didn't get to 750. That's not true. So that's what I mean. We only get to that $8 mark, but a nice little movement upside there. We had that CFO resign, I believe the story was. So we're watching out for some Clover momentum now. Breaking through 9 again might be a trade.
Yeah, and that Carver, I'm going to adjust my order. I was sitting about 2050 in front of that 21 area, but it popped through 20 even, made a high at like 2020, so 2020 vision, which you want to have if you can. That's going to be the new out. I want to catch the short side of this trade. SGOC, call a reversal on it and missed that one, and I didn't want to chase it. It's a little bit chasing here, but a lower stop on Carver. Brendan? I
sent this out on Twitter early on this morning and kind of chuckled a little when I did, but I'll show you the chart in a second, guys. Nikola up, 7%. They added 51 dealership locations today for their incoming truck. So it just blew through 15 there. Nice day for Nikola so far.
Yeah, I'm feeling some Nikola love on that. 7%. We'll take that 7%. You know, we're in Nikola a hell of a long time ago, so we're not even worried about that anymore. But what we are not worried about either is the new high there. Oh, 44.80. Wow. For NIO. So, yeah, we still have that drop spot right there. But, 44.80, and if we get it out in here at 44.30, I'll feel sick because we miss that big movement to the upside there. We're just getting a little bit. I mean, NIO can go more than 4% or 3.5%. So maybe we'll put an order here, though. If we can get 75s, we'll take it. It looks like it's trying to fade down a little bit. The NASDAQ, if we do get a retracement in the NASDAQ, then, of course, some of these names will begin to fall. So let's just watch out here for NIO. We do have our out at 44.30. I am now that I see NASDAQ just failed at going green there. So we do have a top. So we're going to get out now 44.75. If we're wrong, we're wrong on that one. I'm willing to be wrong for you guys on NIO because we already have it pretty much is my number one stock today. NIO, so we'll dab up for that one. Good call holding that bottom. We gave you that bottom. We got some longer at 43. So if you're long with me at 43, man, and you're staring at $1.50, maybe it's worth taking it on a day like today. So let's watch out. Powell talking more about inflation.
Yeah, and we're slightly negative. And look, the NASDAQ, just even with that bounce, is still going to stay slightly negative. I got into that Carver, by the way, 1966. So it's not a good time. It's a good time in the 200 meters. But anyways, that 2020 is going to be the out. I do have a bid in front of the low that it made here on that flush, and that's going to be 19. If that breaks, I'll zoom out a little bit on the 3-minute chart here. If that breaks, and the reason I want to get out, look, this is 19. This is the high from the afternoon. That's the spike there. No, it's kind of obvious. Middle of the cluster at 18 is the last out there, guys. I always trade off of these clusters. They kind of stand out there, but we always show you the ins, outs, and some take profits as well. Brendo, what's up, buddy?
Another one that was moving in the pre-market here, guys. Beyond Meat announced pre-market. They opened a JD.com store in China. So nice look for BYND, up 3%.
Okay, well, flush ourselves. I mean, I love the BYND trade. I just wish I would have had it lower. That one day when we were here with Arun, I remember it was 112 on BYND, and we took that and we crushed it, but that was only for a day trade, of course. So Virgin Galactic, we just went longer again there through a 33.25 break. We did get stopped out. Just wondering if that is the bottom. What is that, 33.07? So move it a little bit lower. These levels are 32.95. So we're long again on, and this is what happened to me last time. Remember, we talked about this, man. I just keep chasing Virgin Galactic. So we'll see if it wants to work now. We put on the same position again long. So, hey, if we go upside now, we'll be laughing, but we got to watch out for this downside protection. We've got to put an order here to not hold this too far past 32.95, because again, you know, when you're using bigger shares, man, it just takes a couple mistakes and then you're flushed for the rest of the day. So be very, very cautious and careful with some of these trades here on Virgin Galactic, as it's just whipping around quite a lot here.
Yeah, I mean, this is right back at that level that was the, I'll go to the actual, I'm on the chart of CARB because I have to pay attention to this one. It's getting some consolidation. I want to add to it here. That's why I'm on that stock. But it's at that 33 level. That was 33.25 was a previous pre-market high on Virgin Galactic. As it dips there, 75 is my out on Virgin Galactic, but Carver starting to consolidate. I think there's going to be a chance if it tests up to 20 again. And I'll zoom back in. If it tests up to 20 again, I want to roll into some more shares here and then maybe get a second bid in front of that 19 even area. So that's my plan for Carver. Clover, I'm going to start messing these names up almost for sure. Too many C's here, man. Anyways, Clover trying to bounce off VWAP. I added to it on that first little dip. I will not add again. If it does crack and hold that VWAP to the downside, I'll just give up the ghost on Clover. Like it was a breakout style trade. So if it can't hold the top end of the range, I would look for that low if you're still going to be bullish. But you want to break that trend, you got to be able to hang out here and then bounce and then make a fresh high off of so call it like 875 or so, needs to then get broken. If those things don't happen, I'll maintain the tight-ish stop on Clover. We did miss that bottom. This didn't happen, at least I don't think it did. Didn't really get to 750. I think 8 is about the bottom on Clover if I'm wrong. Maybe someone correct me there. If it actually printed 750, I'm a little bit surprised. I'm looking at 8 even as the actual low.
So this is what I'm talking about. There we go, bottom wick again on space. So we tried to save it. We did get a little bit out there at 38 or 39, 33, 38, 39, and then it just cracks right through. And there we go. So yeah, I'm going to be away from Virgin Galactic here. I mean, I don't even like the stock as a buy or anything like that. So I can't. Fundamentals, I don't think are very good. I think you got to come all the way back down into these mid-20s at least before you buy anything. Like the trend is your friend, and yet I'm going long on this name. So this was a good call here, but then again, stopped out there on VWAP, and then we tried it one more time and stopped out one more time again. So yeah, we're going to be done on this one. Let's just stay with names that have been long and strong all day for us, including NIO to the upside there, including DD. Although DD's fading off a little bit, good call by whoever mentioned yesterday's high of 1334. That would have been a good out. We're still laughing. I mean, we're still huge here, but we do take a hit, obviously, on this space there. So yeah, that dumps down there, we get out. So, and like I said, I'm trading too big shares to hold this thing too much. Like, you know, if this even just goes down to here, then my day turns negative, right? So I'm not going to do that on one trade, that's for sure. We always talk about that, risk about 20%. So again, with the share size, too much for me on that one. I liked it, so that's why we put on shares, but not working. We'll still stay positive here on the day, obviously. Much positive. Neil, we're getting ready to get out of this right now, and maybe we don't, but the NASDAQ's ripping up here. I really like this call. We talked about it, that it was weak all week, and now back strong again today. We talked about some of these levels getting taken out, so we're going to reward ourselves, hopefully, again, with this out here. We'll put it at 65. We're at 75 right now. The high of the day, 78. So we'll see if we can get a high wick here for NIO, but it's bouncing off a little bit here. Maybe we just take this out right now, 61, 62, and don't worry about it. Put this money in our pocket here. That is NIO, guys.
And I just want to I actually didn't talk about Zila this morning. I had one like in and out pre-market trade. At the low again, it's down 12%. Look, 350 was a key level before. If it can actually hold up on a higher low, I have not touched Zila all morning because it couldn't break out this 385 area. Now you're looking at 350, which is trying to hold a bit of a bid here, like 70 or 80,000 shares. If it can bounce off that low of the day 45, I'm going to take a shot at it finally for the first time. This is a key level for me on Zila. So we'll risk about 7 cents in slippage to that low of the day. This can be a scalp trade because obviously it's a $3 stock. So am I going to be taking some out if it goes like 10 cents if I'm risking 7? Absolutely. So it gets to VWAP, takes them out on the north side in front of that 385. I'll be covering because I would look for a 385 break. So Zila may or may not be done. I never got that reload in Carver. It's now 50 pennies in the money. I tried to pick up some more shares short in front of that 20 area. But Carver looks like it wants to go, not without me, but without me reloading or getting more shares into it, guys.
So you guys want to let's go. I mean, this is what you guys are talking about in the chat. So we'll say let's go because AMC, congratulations, man. I mean, this is what this community is all about, man. Like, here we go. Someone said, oh, I'm glad we didn't kill it on AMC. I don't know if you guys killed it or not. I killed it on AMC, so hopefully you guys did as well, man. We talked about that 33.25. I mean, this is the thing. Some stations or channels, just buy AMC, buy, like always buy. But like this is the price. Like, I gave you a price, not just buy. There's the price. We're day traders here, right? So here's the price that I went long on with AMC, and here it is right there, guys. So that's what we're doing. We got them profits today on AMC, man. My largest win today on AMC. Like, look, if you take 5,000 shares here, I mean, how much money do you actually want to make on the upside? You got to trade your own account, right? When you hit certain levels, man, maybe that's a profit area for you. There's so many traders out there that are wishing for the moon, and I'm wishing for the moon too. I would love for AMC to get back to $60. It's going to create a hell of a lot of opportunities, and it's going to make a lot of you guys a lot of money. So hey, look, I am all for AMC going up, and yeah, do I wish I held it? Hell yeah. But is it a very, very profitable stock for me? Hell yeah as well. It's a chicken dinner winner. It's actually more than chicken dinner. Why not throw some prime rib up in that gullet after today with AMC? So we'll do that. And once again, guys, the sticky note remains supreme. We actually got to add some AMC onto there. But yeah, so far so good today with this movement. We are a little nervous about NASDAQ getting faded out a little bit there. But a big day. Congratulations to everybody trading AMC. I'm with you. And so is Brendan over at the big screen, although this is small cap recap, not AMC.
Hey guys, yeah, small cap time. Lots of them moving around so far this morning. Let's get right into it. NLSP and LSP still up 4%. First off, on the daily chart, this thing's stuck in a range between 3 and 4. So very defined levels on the daily chart, 3 and 4. Top end 4. Really like this one this morning because of how defined that was around 4. So it had already come back significantly, obviously, when we started looking at it. But 370 was a bit of a pivot here in the pre-market, and then above that was willing to give that back to 4. So gives you a nice point of entry back into that 370 right at the open. And this thing has done nothing but go all the way back to $3. So 3 at the bottom, 4 at the top for that one. BLIN. This was a little bit tricky. There's a lot to look at here on the daily chart. 710 is a huge level. And then 730 was a bit of a pivot here in the pre-market. Tags that a couple of times here at the open, but does eventually give you lots of opportunity on the downside. That 750, should have trusted that. Great spot to add on that last little pushback up to 750. Comes right back to 650 on BLIN, but huge volume so far on that one. And then DTSS, my plan was simple on this today. Wait for the fail and then hold until you're wrong. So it's still falling apart right now. 430 now for DTSS. 510, I guess, was that resistance from the pre-market. Guys, back over to you.
A stock that we haven't mentioned in a long, long time is going to be GameStop here. I want to show you in the 15-minute chart because it's a bit of a level here. 165. That's the flush bottom that it put in here off 155. 165 previous day's low. On the dip, it's coming right into that price. I'm actually on the bid in front of it. I haven't gotten filled yet. Actually, my stop locked and loaded, ready to go under that one. Yeah, it's not the only meme name out there. AMC, GameStop as well. Just turned negative on the session, but that's a look at the 15-minute chart. Here you can kind of see it's already pulled back into this area once and bounced. Second time through, if it cannot hold this, immediately gonzo on this trade, and I think it could turn into a bit of a short. Neither of these stocks have been like Holdfest before, but in the back of my mind, I always remember that the best trade I've ever seen on GameStop was off of like successive halts to the downside, and I'm kind of always hunting for that. If it does get there, I don't know that today's the day. I actually don't think it's going to be true, but I like this dip buy at that price. I wanted to see if actually hold 165 first before going long, because I don't love long in GameStop for any kind of fundamental reason, but I want to play that price action. The trend has been to the upside. I don't think it's been as strong as AMC personally. That's why it's testing that low right now. If it breaks its low, I'm not saying AMC pulls back into VWAP, a decent chance that it could, but GameStop off of this test, and you saw the daily chart key levels here on GME, which I haven't said in quite some time.
All right. Yeah, you're right. We haven't talked about GME in a very long time. That is strange. Okay, but one name that we are talking about consistently today is Space, and this is why I get out. Like, remember I just told you guys that depending on what share size you're using, and again, you know, you got to be very, very careful here. I mean, this is a slippery slope. So there's the out there, 32.90. Like, even if you have 100 shares or whatever you have, like that drop down there is at 70, 80 bucks, right? So you just got to be very, very careful with how you're trading this name today. It allows me to get back long now after I see once again another bottom. But really, what am I going to do? Just like hold this all the way? Is that my style? No, it's not. So we're going to wait to see on this one. And again, this is another big talk, and it has nothing to do with AMC or Space or anything. It's like trade your own style, trade your own book. Like Neil and myself trade completely differently, as you guys can already see. And you know, different successes, different everything. Same as Brendan. Brendan's crushing these small cap stocks like literally every single day, right? So that's another situation where you got to look and say, where do I trade? And you know, like, what is my best style of trade? Like, I've been in AMC a lot over those last couple of days. We could throw to Brendan right now and ask him when's the last time he traded AMC. Probably, I don't know, months ago. How long?
I don't even remember.
Doesn't even remember. So there you go, right? So and it's literally, guys, stay in your lane as much as you can. For me, I like to trade everything. Shorts, longs, small caps, big caps, whatever. I trade price action, halts. You've seen me destroy Carver, SCOCO, everything. If there's an opportunity, I'm there. Look at today, AMC, Blend, DD, DTSS, Neo, Space, Zila. I mean, we're all over the place. We just destroyed Softy the other day. Doesn't matter whether or not you're a positive trader or a negative trader. Find your lane, stay in it, and let's go and just get rid of all these kind of trades. Put them in the garbage where they belong, and or the toilet, I guess. And we'll see those trades next time. But right now, I'm back long Space. That's my rant, guys. Just stay positive and do you.
Yeah, 32.50, by the way, Space Version Galactic. That's the original dip buy. So scalping off there makes a heck of a lot of sense to me. Definitely do you. Stay in the lane until you get a bigger vehicle, and then make the lanes wider for you, because it means you expand your horizons. But until you expand your horizons, start and focus on being good at one thing. And then one thing only for a lot of traders, and then expand to your abilities. Carver, I mean, give me a break. Like I just looked a gift horse in the mouth on Carver. I've had the bid like at that 825 area, right in the middle of that pre-market breakout range that it had, and then you're going to see it right here, 1840. This is exactly where it drops off. Did I hit gift horse? I don't know. I guess whatever. I don't know what key.
That's 7 gift horses today.
1840 was that low. I was sitting right here like 20 cents lower on essentially like $1.50 type winner. I'm not going to give this entire thing up, but I was always looking to add to this position closer to 20 even. So it's not like I didn't want to get more shares. If it pops up, I will short Carver another time here. But I definitely missed an opportunity to get the absolute low of the day. At this point, I'll just put the bid in front of that recent low. I'll take 1850 if it wants to give it to me.
Yeah, and there it is, the comment there from VWAP Trader. Feed it some hay there, the gift horse. So yeah, we've seen that gift horse a lot, and that's just the kind of market that it is, guys. Like, it's bouncing around on all of these names, and that's why, you know, take your profits and do you. And thank you for the support on the chat for my little rant there. 30, it wasn't even a rant. 37, these are some of those levels, and look, this is another way that I would trade as well. Look at yesterday's high, and again, you know, we're here for education, for entertainment, education, and something else. I forget what that other one is that we always talk about. Education. information maybe, entertainment. Okay, but there it is. Like yesterday's high, was that yesterday's high even? No, not. The high off the morning was. But yesterday's afternoon high, we tested it a couple times there, 37.50, 37.50 again, and then look at today's high, 37.50. So realistically, that was kind of a spot there that if you were still long and strong on AMC, that might be a level that you're looking at. And if you're still long again on this name, you may want to look at that. And I did the same thing right here, right? I mean, I looked at this level right here, 35.60, 35.70. We talked about that and we got out. It bounced up there about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 7 or 8 times, bounced in there and then fell back down $1. The only thing that I really regret from this trade, first of all, is really nothing. But second of all, is just not reloading it down here on all of these dips. But again, a lot happening here in the middle of the day. So I'm not in the middle of the day, nothing happening in the middle of the day. A lot happening early when we had this trade. You could see volume dying off just a little bit here on AMC. So watch what it does as it comes back to VWAP. And this is what I'm talking about with the diamond hands. Like, you know, if I'd still had held this, I'd be right back to flat. I'm just sad that I missed some of these opportunities in between. Space still bouncing around, guys.
Yeah, space definitely still bouncing around. Netflix, which, I mean, I think we had a couple people in the chat saying they actually played this one. It never got anywhere close to the 570 where I thought it would be a bit of a fade, but Netflix getting towards that low of the day one more time. I'm not saying it's going to break. Well, I mean, it's looking like it's going to break right now. I'm not saying it for sure it's going to flush all the way down into like this area here, but you look for where pullbacks tend to stall out or slow down. 545 stands out like a sore thumb. It was a previous high. It was a break and then dip price as well, so watch out for that one, guys. You're going to see Clover reversal. Yeah, absolutely, Clover back below VWAP. It cannot hold up. It looks like a lot of these, for lack of a better term, we'll go squeeze or meme names, whatever you want to call them. I don't know what we're supposed to call them these days. We'll just go with meme, squeeze, whatever. I broke down below here. I'm now looking for the short side of almost all these. They couldn't hold a breakout. Virgin Galactic didn't do it. I think the dip buy is okay there, but for now, it looks like they're all pretty weak. I'm reversing short there. I never got GameStop reversal short. I'll go check and see why I didn't get that. I'm sitting at 163.90 or so, but I am short on Clover now because they're all starting to come back into the market. Lows of the day as well.
Blah, and we're gonna throw up on ourselves because we did it. You're not gonna hear me talk too much about keystroke errors because I make them all the time, but not on this one. This was not a keystroke error. I simply forgot to put in the out right here at 32.20. So hopefully we can get it backside, but there's another example right now of just simply, you know, not having too many positions maybe on board and not looking at that as space continues to fly down. But it's not a heavy position, but again, it's not been a good stock today for me. Virgin Galactic, it's my worst on board. I have two losers. I have DTSS and Space, and it looks like we're making more lows right now. We may just, this is not what, I don't recommend doing this, so talk about learning from us, don't do this, but I may just buy some more here. This reminds me of Goldman Sachs. I just put a short out yesterday about not doing this. 31.50 there, the bottom. See, we're human after all, guys. The mistakes keep on coming. What's up, Brendo?
All right, half an hour to go for us, guys. There's about an hour left over in the session in Europe. We'll check in on that in a second. Before we do, great interview coming up. Stick around. Universal PropTech, Frank Carnvale, going to tell us all about clean building, smart building technology that is becoming a huge sector quietly as well. So Universal PropTech coming up in about 15 minutes, so don't go anywhere. As I said, about an hour left in the session over in Europe. Miss V is watching what's going on over there. What's up, V?
Hey, Brandon. European markets are negative for the second straight session. Renewable energy company Siemens Gamesa trading in Spain is down around 14% after a second profit warning has been issued. Back to you.
Yeah, earnings, and more earnings, guys. Although Morgan Stanley, not really doing much today so far.
If there's one thing we say in the mornings all the time, it's like if something on the watch list has earnings or whatever, and it's like that's a nothing burger, don't touch it. Like it's not to say that you can never trade those. It's just there's a reason why we're sort of getting into that. I just didn't think there was a trade on Morgan Stanley today. I own the stock. I love the stock. I didn't think there was anything today. YVR is continuing to hold up here, and sorry, I want to go to the 1 minute because my chart froze on me when I opened it back up. In the mornings, I use a 1. I shift to a 3 later on in the session. But YVR is having an impressive run here. I was just talking about meme names or reversing. It's not really a meme name, reversing, and this is actually holding up rather nicely. I did finally get that GameStop and I had to move my order by like 10 or 15 cents just to get in. So I am now short GameStop and Carver and Clover all at the same time here. YVR holding up rather nicely. This one could be one for Power Hour, but I'm looking at that halt price, and it's sitting off of the halt price right now. That 230 also going to be VWAP for you. So key level, I don't like taking things right in the middle of that key level. I'd like it to, if it breaks down and holds, you'd look at like a 210 break with a 230 stop at that halt price. Otherwise, you're looking for a top end break if it can hold that price all morning long. I'm going to do this to GameStop because I have not traded this in. I can't tell you the last time I traded. I'm not really sure. I was thinking about it the whole time, and a number didn't come to my mind. So it's been weeks, potentially, maybe months. I don't know. These things blend when you get older. But we took that long. It broke that key level. I said I'd be bearish on some of these names if that happened. So I got that short reversal, 20 cents away from where I wanted it. But I shouldn't be hesitant to get some out in front of 162 if I can do so. And then if it goes all the way down to 162, forget about 160. I'm thinking a 159 area going to be the next one to the downside. So can't get married to a direction here, especially when that reversal came in all of those stocks at once. I wanted to go long on the dip trade. We did it. It didn't work. Then went to the short bias. I'm holding Clover. Clover's basically a couple of pennies in the money. It hasn't moved yet, but GameStop already heading to that downside. Looks like the reversal is on, at least for a couple of these meme names. I mean, there's some relative strength there, but you saw that reverse pretty hard. The market also came back in. You got to trade the price action. Can't get married to the notion that, okay, the long didn't work. I want to find a place to buy again. That was never the plan for GameStop. Once it broke that level at 164, I wanted that short.
I mean, I think that's the thing, right? So you take out that, I mean, if you look at Neil's chart there, you know, you take out a piece so that you can make, like, I'm sure that's what you did, obviously, make back, you know, what you lost on that long, go short.
Yes,
and then
I should have said that.
Right, exactly. Then you play for that sort of, not a home run, but you play for that, you know, momentum break to the downside. And that's what we're talking about, like not really being married to a stock, making sure that you play the momentum and where you want it more than anything else, right? And so that's a good call there on GameStop on the short. We'll see where it goes. Virgin Galactic still bouncing around a little bit. The only other stock that we have on, we only have two on right now, is we're starting to empty out at 117. Is that what it is right now on ADA? No, 120. Did it go down to 117?
No.
I've been delayed on this one today. What? You're not in Cardano, are you, Neil, all of a sudden?
No.
Okay.
Just, so basically, the only thing I do is I track like a group, a Polkadot, Cardano, just an overall like sentiment play, not necessarily like Bitcoin. But ones that are not, I mean, just not for a long rant, because I do not move around anything. I'm thinking like quarterly basis on those. I kind of treat crypto as like what old gold was. It's like every once in a while, only look for big moves. I don't get into the minutia of the day to day. That is where I would play the equities. Like I think shorter term on the equity plays, and I talked about that with Coinbase and which I need to check on that, by the way. Coinbase.
Yeah, Coinbase is getting crushed every day. I don't know what the hell.
Coinbase is not looking good. That's
someone asked me about Coinbase, and I said this is where I'm in at 233 or 231. That was my last buy, 231. So that's down to 240. I mean, same difference. What's the difference at that point? Yeah. Okay. So Mike, thank you for the super chat again. And again, are you guys going to drop any super chats on something that you know we're interested in and we've talked about in the past? Then why not? I mean, my price on Cardano is pretty low, but who cares? We're not talking about the past. Let's talk about the future. It's touched out to 120. I mean, this goes back to June 15th, right? So 120 has been support for it. So that's right where we are right now. We did dip, I guess, a little bit down. I don't know where you're getting 117 from exactly here. This is just a 1 hour chart, and it just goes back a little bit. I still think that crypto, you know, I've emptied out a little bit of my crypto spots, and we've talked about why. I just think that the summertime has not been a good little levels, or not good time for crypto. And no matter what we think about Cardano and things like that, I mean, the biggest and the baddest, in my opinion, right now, controlling some of these altcoins and where we're going to go from here is Ethereum. Because remember, a lot of these applications, we talk about DeFi and things like that. You know, a lot of that is off of the Ethereum chain, right? So you got to watch out with that. I mean, as this goes, so do a lot of those other names like Neil was talking about there. I still like Polygon, which is Matic. That's dipped down below $1 as well. So there's lots of opportunity that tries to speed up the Ethereum network. But yeah, watch out for this 1860. It's just bouncing around. I mean, if you look at a daily chart here, and we'll get off crypto in a minute. I just know that there's a lot of traders, obviously not just part of our community, all communities that look at crypto. I still think 1500 is possibly coming for Ethereum. So there's my talk on that one. I hope not as a holder, but if it does happen, that's a good spot for me to reload back up into that space for the crypto talk.
Yeah, so I don't want to add to it too much, but the chart on Coinbase stinks after yesterday, and not holding that 250. It doesn't look good. I'll be honest with you guys. If it doesn't hold 225 or at least this like 223 area throughout this week, yeah, I mean I might be talking about like buying some in front of 200. I'm not all in on this thing yet because it never made that 260. Wanted it to hold 250, and I was willing to buy on a 261 break. It never broke it, so I wanted to add on a breakout. Maybe that saved me some money, but either way, it does not look terribly good for me there in Coinbase. And GameStop, I talked about this one heading in the reversal. A bit of a buyer stepping up here at 161. It's kind of random, just in front of it. So it has to chew through that, and I'm sitting just below that 160 mark. The reversal is okay there, but Clover, for the Clover bulls, the best I will say is this one is it's not really accelerating to the downside. We have a bad wick, and thank you guys, best community in the world. I said to you guys, I have no clue where I think it was $8. Where is that bottom? Someone said it's $8.15.
It is,
so we have this ugly wick down here, so $8.15. That's important because that was a higher low on the way up. That kind of made it bullish. And now we're turning to the other segment. Exactly the same trade as GameStop, though. I went long, reversed it into a short. Both longs are losing trades. Both shorts are off the same premise that the trend did not get broken and it was a failed breakout in both cases, in my opinion. Well, I mean, that's what the chart says. Kind of a failed breakout and reversing. Just Clover looks a little bit stronger than what GameStop did off of that break. Brendan?
Just looking at, what is this called? Reinvent Technology Partners, which announced this morning they're going to take this self-driving technology company, Aurora, public. This is a SPAC, so it's not necessarily about this. It's about $13 billion in value, but big names behind this deal, guys. Apparently Uber, this P-Car, Volvo as well have all committed up to $1 billion into this Aurora. Again, it's really not doing much as far as the stock, RTPY, but interesting story there.
Pass, sell, everything, every single SPAC. I'm selling every single SPAC. They're useless in my opinion, unless they're buying Aurora Cannabis, which I do own, which has been an absolute nightmare on the cannabis side, like we talked about that early with Raheem before. Okay, so I said good on you, Shakib, because you're right. And look, just to talk more again about crypto because I like it. But if you just look here, this is ADA. So let's go to a daily chart here on ADA. So I just want to say, like, basically, I'm here for you. I'll help you guys do some research and I'll talk about it, some of their projects in Africa and things like that. But I mean, none of us have this crystal ball when it comes to, I mean, if I did, I just wouldn't be here anymore because I just not even a year ago. I mean, you're talking March, April, May, June, July. So let's go right here. What day is it today? July, it doesn't matter, July 15th. Who cares? This was 14 cents, okay, a year ago today. It went to $2.50. ADA was 14 cents. I mean, is this the bottom? What is that, 1 cent? That's like 1 cent in March. Less than 1 cent in March, okay? And honestly, I was talking about, I remember asking Brendan, and I was like, Brendan, what do you think Cardano is at? And he goes, I don't know, like 7 cents. It was at 18 cents. And I was talking about this name, sub 10 cents. So I mean, it was literally 2 cents ago back in March, up to $2.50. So I mean, can this go back down there? Yes, it can. I mean, I don't know where this thing could go. So I don't like to average in on anything like this, especially if you're trading it for the short term. But I think for a long-term spot, you have to have that long-term vision for crypto, guys. I mean, no matter what we say, no matter which one you pick, if you're scalping it, that's a completely different story. Then yeah, I do like 120. I think we can get back to 150 on good news. Why not? But really, I mean, if this breaks, we could revisit 50 cents. We could revisit 80 cents. So look, I don't know where it's going to go. I wish I did, because like I said, man, like you drop 10 grand into there. I mean, you know, at what point do you get out and you say, see ya to all your friends with that big middle finger? But you know, I mean, that's what crypto people are all looking for. Oh, you know what? I'll show it on the show in a second if I can find it on my phone, which I can. I took a picture for my kid yesterday. We'll throw it back to Neil because we do have an interview coming up. But I want to show you a Lambo that I passed on my drive yesterday home. Wait 1 second.
A Lambo, yeah, we see a lot of those around there. Look,
okay, I got it already.
There we go, because we're about to go to Brennan.
Look at this quickly on this screen. There it goes. Okay, can you see that? It's a Lambo that I passed on the streets of Toronto there yesterday. It has a Bitcoin. It has a Bitcoin. You can't. I don't know. Maybe I'll zoom in a little bit better. Maybe I'll put it on the screen. But it does have a Bitcoin there. Little logo there for that. This is a pixel, by the way. So there we go. That's what people are doing. They're mooning with their Lambos right now, there, Brendan. I hope yours is out of the wash. What's up, Brendan?
I don't even know what to say about that. Let's talk about the overall market here, guys. We are negative on the day, only 0.25%, but it is a bit of a red day. We'll talk about some individual names here, starting off in the healthcare group. Leading the way to the downside, worth noting this TFX. That was an earnings name, so earnings miss, so big move, 11% to the downside. Biogen here as well, under pressure, 5%. More questions around that Alzheimer's drug, including from UHN. We talked about how they were going to handle that drug. They're still apparently coming up with ideas for that. Consumer discretionary stocks back to the downside. All the travel names under pressure again today. Here's all the cruise lines here, some of the hotels as well, leading the way. BBY, TSCO, and Etsy, though, helping to offset that a little bit. I want to talk about tech stocks because we did start the day basically break even, but they have been coming off ever since. So STX, WDC in the hardware group, HPQ is here as well, all leading to the downside. This NLOC, Oracle, CRM among the names in the software group to the downside, and basically the entire semiconductor group is in negative territory today. So tech stocks under pressure, healthcare stocks under pressure, consumer discretionary among the leaders, as I said, to the downside. There are some individual names here in the industrial group. Delta standing out once again, strong to the upside. Material stocks showing some strength. Financials as well, individual names showing some strength. USB, not UBS, but USB, 3.5%. AIG as well, up on earnings, 2.7. 0.30 to the downside, though, guys, for the market. Back over to you.
So we'll go with, Brendan's a GOAT, definitely, but we'll power this one up. And I think it's going to turn into a scalp fest. And I think Virgin Galactic here, look, it just tested, it said in the chat just a couple seconds ago, we're just trying to test this 3280. Someone said it's going to break 33. I'm looking at 3280 because every single dip buy, it's like, it'll give you maybe 30 cents and then flush the next level. And then it gives you 30 cents. It actually had managed to hold the original dip level at 32.35. And then it couldn't break this 80. So it's basically pre-market lows. Forget about those. If it's not putting in a higher low, that's not good. It's going to be this 32 area, 31.90 or so, that I think we're going to try to rinse and repeat. We do come back, of course, for the last 15 minutes. I promise you this, it's almost a guarantee. Virgin Galactic and every single one of these meme names, GameStop, Clover, AMC, they're going to be on that watch. Could we be talking about United Health after earnings? Maybe, but they're dead flat, doing absolutely nothing. Morgan Stanley doing absolutely nothing. There are days we trade earnings. Pepsi was a good one. Some of the banks can be okay, and they gave some good opportunities earlier on in the week. And there are other days where you simply have to trade the price action. Every single day, it's like game day, right? Like every single day, the market is the same. The rules are the same. The gateways are all the same. I mean, they change a little bit here and there, but what you trade and how the market behaves is a little bit different. So you prepare the same way, just like a basketball player would. You know, you're facing your opponent. You do your diligence. You know what moves you're good at, and then you adapt subtly to that different environment. But the basic structure is always going to be the same. But it's not every day that Steph Curry's lighting up 23s. Sometimes he has to take those little fades and whatever, adjust on the fly. That's what you got to do here. And I'm adjusting to scalping in Virgin Galactic after I was buy and hold that sucker all morning long. Now we're scalp trading it because that's what the price action's telling me.
We're doing this. We're very, very excited tonight. Italian chef coming through here for the Bentway. We're going to see, I'll see you guys at the Bentway if you want to come tonight. We're doing a nice little picnic. It looks superb. So we'll be doing that tonight. Back to the roots there, enjoying some nice picnic action underneath in the Bentway. If you guys know anything about Toronto, it's a beautiful little spot there. Recently, graffiti, everything. It's pretty cool. So the kids doing that should be a fun one there. DD comes all the way back in, man. Talk about, someone mentioned that high yesterday right there. What a great level that was, man. We still hold that 1/3. We should have got out there, but we didn't. And there it goes to the downside. What do you guys want to know? DTSS? Yeah, we could take a look quickly back at DTSS. Thank you, Rizvan, for that. Okay, so, we were long here. We're basically flat on this. We are red on this stock. We talked about that today. It's very, very slight red. The only stock that I'm red on today is Space, but we are slightly red on DTSS. And if you look at this name here, Rizvan, I mean, Four held, if we're looking at any sort of a breakout level, you do have these bottoms here at 465. So I think if you can retake, that's why I got out, but I think if you can retake this 470 level, to get really aggressive, I do have an order in to go long through this level, 480. So I think that there's something here, we are sort of queuing up now to break higher. So depending on what your risk level is, I believe you've made a good bottom. You take this, but make sure you get out if you break through that 430. 18 cents worth of risk right now on DTSS seems very, very reasonable considering where you could go to the upside. So if you take a position long now, I would just honestly, I don't do this normally, but that's a good scalp out right there at 430. So take a long. I think the upside way outweighs the downside on this one, but we're very, very lucky to once again have yet another special guest of the day. So we're going to throw it back over to Brendan.
All right, thanks so much, guys. Yeah, Chief Growth Officer Frank Carnvale from Universal PropTech joining us today to talk a little bit about the company that specializes in, I love this, Frank, creating healthy buildings. So we're going to talk a little bit not only about the company, but some of the technology that does do just that in creating healthy buildings. Great to have you on the show. Why don't we talk a little bit about overall, introduce us to Universal PropTech.
Yeah, thank you very much. Pleasure to be here. This is great. Universal PropTech, it's quite simple. We're about a $10 million a year business, no debt, cash on hand, have about a $6 million backlog. And what we do is we take PropTech, so property technology, and we integrate it into a very traditional HVAC business. And so we're having a lot of fun in Eastern Canada, primarily governmental contracts, very creditworthy counterparties, and we're expanding our business.
It's a lot of information there to pick through first, but I want to talk a little bit about the backlog because this is pretty impressive, to say the least, to start things off for a company of this size to not only have no debt, but $6 million in sales backlog. Tell us, I guess, how we got to this point.
It's a great situation. We got to this point because even though we've been in a pandemic, as we've been bringing in new products, new solutions, new artificial intelligence applications, it's a great time to go sell and pitch to clients. And so we're building up that backlog. We're getting some projects in the door. We're getting longer term service contracts in the door, and we're building up that ability to really get ahead of our converting these backlogs into revenue. So the higher this number goes, it means for sure we have another $6 million. If everything stopped tomorrow, we have another $6 million that we can work through. We're continuing to grow this. So it's a great sign towards our success and our strategic plan.
Let's talk a little bit about where this is coming from, Frank. Obviously, as things start to reopen, people start to get back into offices and back into some of these buildings that we're talking about. There's been a shift in focus. There's been a lot of attention around how, we're not only going to stay safe with bigger crowds and a lot of people in the same working environment. Tell us a little bit about some of the products that you're finding are in higher demand as we start to reopen some economies.
That's a great question. Indoor air quality, obviously post-pandemic, indoor air quality and making sure that your air is clean and it's purified is pretty critical. And so as only now we're seeing governmental, school boards, governmental organizations starting to spend the money on capital upgrades, ventilation, HVAC, indoor air quality sensors. So we as a company have been saying, look, how do we make sure we can capture that? How do we become the trusted advisor to these companies and make sure we can meet that demand going forward? So we've been doing a lot of great work in the last 7 months to bring in air purification technologies like Air Sniper, to bring in today's announcement, to bring in a new control system that goes after those smaller buildings and actually allows them to save money and be more optimized as we come out of the pandemic. We've brought in things like Lumen Ultra. We're able to do surface testing for COVID on surfaces and desks in classrooms. We're bringing all these technologies. This is really our thesis. We bring all these technologies. They're proven, they're great. But what's missing in the marketplace and for customers is the integration of them. And that's really been our focus, and it's working.
And let's discuss the automation side of this as well, because this is going to be with us, it seems, for the foreseeable future as far as what is needed to keep people safe. Is there a way that some of these products can be automated to just do this in the background and give people a little bit of peace of mind going forward?
most of what we brought in is all about integrating it into our building automation system. So absolutely, whether it's indoor quality, we now have these PRS system sensors that are able to detect particulate matter in a range that are actual viruses. So we can identify if viruses are in your room, and we can use our building automation system to take the data and turn on and turn off ventilation systems, fresh air. We can clear out that bad air very quickly. So everything is about taking all these prop tech technologies and really tying them in with our ability to automate and really control your building automation system. So it's a big part of what we need to do going forward. You know, the market hasn't landed on what is that final solution, but by having all these solutions in our toolkit, it's about being the trusted advisor. And as any one of these solutions take hold with any particular customer, we're in a great position to be able to enable it and take off from there.
I mentioned when I initially teed this up this morning, Frank, that this sector, this group has quickly been growing in the background, a little bit under the radar, maybe even over the past 6 to 8 months, even going back a year or so because of the pandemic. Two questions, I guess. What has, outside of the pandemic, attributed to that growth, and how has Universal PropTech maybe, set itself apart from the rest of the competition?
That is a really good question. There's two fundamental things we've done. One is our CEO, Chris Hazelton, and myself. Chris took over the business about a year ago, and I came in about 7 months ago, and we really put some great rigor and great strategy. We have a really good strategy of what we want to take this company to. So you could see not much was happening until that point late last year, and we're really on a tear to bring in the technologies solutions. The second part is making sure that we really separated ourselves from the pack. We're not your typical HVAC company. We're embedding technology, artificial intelligence, and we're making sure all those pieces make us far more attractive than your typical competitor. And that's really where we're going in the next few months or so.
Frank Carnvale, Chief Growth Officer of Universal PropTech, with us today, talking a little bit about some healthy buildings, which is something that I think people are going to hear more and more in the coming months as we say, get back to something that resembles normalcy. Let's talk about going forward. We had a look at how we got to this point. You talked a little bit about some investments into COVID technology or COVID-related technology. What can people expect next from Universal PropTech?
So we've made some great investments in a COVID technology that will play out in the coming weeks and months. We're in clinical trial with Health Canada. We'll see how that plays out. The investment, we're excited. We know there's some great results. We can't wait for them to share it publicly, and then we will get to share it publicly. Beyond that, what we're doing as a company is making sure as kids go back to the classroom that we have all those solutions and those technologies to enable that to happen safely in these healthy buildings. And beyond that, where are we going as a company? I think your viewers would love this. We're taking this traditional HVAC model, sticking in these technologies, sticking in these investments, and also moving towards building an alternate asset class where we can finance and own a lot of the assets that we're fixing and installing and selling. So we think there's some, a lot of that coming out in the number of months in the second half of this year, coupled with a very aggressive acquisition program. The next few years, we need to, quadruple and really grow significantly as a company, and that's our objective.
We look forward to some of those announcements as we, as we say, get things to a point where people can function once again as a normal society. UPI, guys, the ticker on the TSX Venture Exchange. The other ticker is at the bottom of the screen there. You can check them out if you are interested. Frank Carnvale, Chief Growth Officer at Universal PropTech. A pleasure, Frank. Hope we can do this again soon. Great seeing you.
Thanks for having me.
There we go, guys. Universal PropTech, an interesting technology, something you're definitely going to hear more about in the coming days.
Absolutely, Brendan. And once again, fantastic interview as always. You mentioned on the venture, very liquid stock, by the way. I just was checking it out here and seeing tens of thousands of shares bid or offer. Anytime you see, actually, it's a good note. Anytime you see like a penny stock or a stock that's under like $2, check to see the liquidity, because you want to see like actual bid down there, which we do find when we look at that particular name. So it's always a good thing if you have access to level 2. If you don't, hey, we show you level 2s all the time. One of the reasons we love it. I said I would go into scalp trading mode on Virgin Galactic because that's what it looked like here. So we caught a bottom, get a bunch out, get a bottom, took some out here as well. It's getting back to that 3280 level. So if it turns here again, whole core, buy dip, higher lows, that's going to be the name of the game for me there. You can't hold on too long, but I might have held on a little bit too long for that, not Virgin Galactic, for GameStop. There we go. I could have taken it out at that 161 buyer that I talked about. I did not do so. It got back to break even, so I'm going to get out at break even. Instead, I reloaded at Clover, which is holding up a little bit better below VWAP instead of testing it. So got back into some more Clover to the short side, but covered my GameStop flat to short. Brendan?
A couple minutes to go here, guys. We have earnings, obviously, to discuss. Make sure you come back, first of all. Join us this afternoon at 3:15. We'll talk about all of these, maybe not all of them, but we'll definitely discuss earnings again this afternoon, guys. 3:15, here we go. Earnings for today and tomorrow morning.
Let's have a quick look here as just getting some more DD. Okay, so State Street, we go back to the financials. I mean, Kansas City Southern, the rails have been pretty hot. That's for sure, off some of those failed deals or, talk there. But Alcoa, yeah, I mean, big names again, but I mean, nothing really stands out to me. I think we could still look at banks, and we'll look at some of these meme plays, and we'll look at space tomorrow. We'll look at NIO, but yeah, right now, not too much there. Talk about a good out there. I mean, if you want to do this, let's dap up here for NEO. Today, bang, bang, bang. And again, we'll find out what the trade of the day is, but I'm pretty proud of that one getting out at the top. It's purple because I did have an offer up here at 45. So that will change over to red once we declare the short, but it's not a short. I wish it was a short, and then we would have brought it all the way back here. But NEO, a big, big run for us. And then there it is, man. We just took more DD right now at 75. So we averaged into our DD position now as it's showing us long 72. May take a little piece out here, but DD, nice little buy, dip buy down there at 75 as we come right back into this level. Let's see if we can retrace back to VWAP, but I do like DD here. So holding on two positions right now, space and DD. Let's see where we go from here, guys.
Absolutely. With only a couple minutes to go, we're back at 3:15, as you guys all know, for the fastest 45 minutes on YouTube, as always. But before we get out of here, I mean, Ms. V, you got the green on. We're going to need to do some work today for this market to get back to the upside, but who knows? We're going to come back anyways. Let's see what national day it is. Oh my goodness, I got a sweet tooth. Yeah, let's go.
Hey guys, thank you very much for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed the show, and if you did, please make sure you like this video. Your support is super, super important to us, guys. We have just 1,200 likes. We deserve much more. So please make sure you like this video and subscribe to our channel. And we will see you at 3:15 p.m. Eastern Time. And happy National Gummy Worm Day, everyone.
Ooh.
I mean, gummy bear, I mean, it doesn't matter. They're the same. Gummy worm, gummy bears, what an awesome treat they are. There is not, look, they taste the same, but
Larry said there's a difference, Neil.
In the brand, maybe. If it's the same brand, they're going to taste the same. It's the same thing they're making. Come on.
I prefer the worm. What about you, Valeria?
Haribo bears.
He prefers the bear. Brendan?
I completely missed that. What are we talking about?
Gummy worms versus bears.
Worms, 100%.
Yahoo! Yes, sir. Dap it up. We're both
Bears.
the worm guys. So Neil and Valeria, the bears. Me and Brendan with the worms. So we don't have worms, but we prefer the worms there. So I like that. I like gummy worms. I just like that they're just a little more to them. But the gummy bears, you could definitely just go, wow, pop those back. Yeah, that's the thing. You could definitely down a little more of them. I don't know. Yeah, guys, let us know on the chat here. It looks like it's a worm versus bear battle here. Maybe that would be something that we could put here. Maybe I'll put that. You know what? Follow me on Twitter. I'm going to put now, right now, as we go, I'm going to put up a poll right now, literally right now.
And look, as we do that, oh, by the way, Nikola just broke a key level of the downside. Just should mention this. Nikola all the way up. Brendan mentioned the news story. Consolidated 1465. It just broke down. I just actually triggered into a short as it broke 10 cents away, and it took out this support level here on the pullback. So always trading, and we will be trading throughout lunch. Of course, we're coming back at 3:15. So check us out. Don't go too far away because this market does not sleep. For the entire team, for Ms. V.
Oops.
For Brendan Wickens, myself, Neil Roberts, and Sean Cattina, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good evening. Wherever you are in the world, this is Trader TV Live, and we will see you at the close.
Go to Twitter. I'm putting the poll up.